The following podcast contains strong language, may include sensitive topics, personal opinions, and satirical comedic elements. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, farting on my roommate's door. Ha.
Did you see it? On the left side of the doorframe, barely visible on camera, a white translucent mist of soap slowly creeps into frame. As
Damn.
so, what do you think?
Why is it getting louder?
Always the
just
best
got
video
worse.
for it. Like, try not to
It
laugh.
just kept going.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you
Dude,
see
if that was on a try not to laugh, where it did that weird shit that it just
We
did, I'd
would
be
fail.
I
Yeah.
instantly
We're all
I'd throw
failed.
my headphones
even better
off
with
and
the
walk
video.
away. Oh my god.
Did you
Oh,
see it? On the
Um,
left side of the door frame, barely visible to camera.
already better than the other mental health special. Good work, guys. Welcome back to the Internet Bum Show. Whatever the this is. Today, I'm joined by Mike, Jake, and our newest guest, Yuqui. It's the other half of our Mental Health Awareness Month specials. We didn't get to do it towards the end of May because of scheduling complications and me being trapped in that well. Thanks for helping me climb out of that twice, Jake.
Falling it again,
hopefully-
brother, and you're done. I give up.
Yeah, no shit. I'll life alert that shit at that point.
Hell yeah.
But it kind of works out because Hulu has been bombarding me with advertisements for hymns, and the fact that June is supposed to be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so
Yep.
we're still kind of on theme. But no, it's been a hell of a time trying to get out of that well and get back here. So
I think the best thing that
First-
anyone has done for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is Sydney Sweeney really showing out for the bros. I think
Yeah.
she was like, you know what, I love men and their mental health needs to be through the roof. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell my bathwater through
Dr.
Squatch.
is the weirdest thing.
Oh, geez.
that's not where I thought you were going with that.
oh well
I thought you were talking about like the outfit she'd been wearing lately. That's where I thought you were going.
no bathwater. You should have known. You should have
Bathwater.
known.
So
Inside
apparently,
soap. Yeah.
yep.
Just as bad as when Amaranth was selling it.
Yep, it is.
You did, yeah, dude. I'm so glad to have secured that early, bro. It only appreciates in value the longer you have it.
Especially if it gets moldy.
Yeah, dude, my Belle Delphine water, apparently when, people were like, it's giving me herpes. I'm like, damn, I'm really glad that I still have it. I get to test this
I'm
for
glad I didn't
myself.
drink it along with you assholes.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, idiots. I scalped the bathwater. You actually tried to drink it?
I
Dummy.
need to ask you about investments, bro. Damn.
Hell yeah, dude. I got all the investment tactics, man.
The days of investing in gold and silver are gone.
Bathwater.
Invest in bathwater.
E-girl
That's
bathwater.
the title of the episode. Invest in
Yep.
bathwater.
E-girl
Invest in
bathwater. Yep.
I've started using a stopwatch for these episodes. We're not even 3 minutes in. Already have the title of the episode.
Hell yeah, dude. E-girl bathwater, I
Nice.
represent. Can't really see it. But this was my softball team, the only dingers, aptly named because of the website. We all had some sexual names. Mine is Slambino. Okay, hold on, let me.
Do a zoom in there on that jersey.
I can't. I don't know where it's at. Yeah.
No, we saw it. You're good.
Okay, wonderful.
So first of all, Mike and Jake, thanks for handling while I was gone. Much appreciated. Thank you for shitting on all of the content that I pulled from Reddit and saying that I came up with it myself. I really appreciate
Well,
that.
so before you should understand, I got made into a villain in that episode. Mike was the one editing it and made it seem like I just hated everything. So when he sent it over to you, the way that it was, he already edited some of it.
Hmm.
Did he now?
Yep.
Mike,
yep.
why the fuck do I have to do this when you have the skill to do it yourself?
Yep.
It would probably come out much better.
Yeah. Question, Mike, man. It's a Mike thing.
I love how you even actually brought that up in the video. It's like, man, shitting on council when it's a Reddit thing, but then loving it when it's as a Reddit thing when it's a council thing, or other way around.
Yeah.
Like, you literally said
He
about
likes
that
the
too.
things I
I
come
don't
up
even know
with
what you said.
myself, but when I can't come up with it, I go to the internet. Man, what the fuck is Christian thinking?
Mhm.
Fucking
Yep.
making me ask this weird shit.
Look, dude, my AI, I don't know who trained my AI, but goddamn that shit. It literally, when I was looking up questions to ask for the would you rathers, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, be a little bit more fucked up. Like I need something real raunchy.
Well,
And
you
it
know,
was like, it said sounds good with like devil emoji or something. I was like, what? And then it popped up like in red text, something about super unhinged, blah, 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 like would you rathers. And it just started. I saw a couple words in it, dude, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then it deleted it. I got like 3 seconds of read time, and then it deleted all of it and said this goes against our terms of service.
Yeah,
And I was
I've
like,
had mine do that
what?
with all kinds of
I'm
things.
like,
I know what it is.
motherfucker.
You know who trained it? You.
I didn't train shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
the things that you're asking it.
The thing gets
really
pre-trained
got-
before it even gets to him, though.
I mean,
Oh,
I can
dude.
tell
Yeah,
you
that's
from
true.
experience that you within ChatGPT you can set up personas and preferences of how you want to proceed. On top of that, it also has a feature now called projects where you can set up different instructions and add files to it for how you want to proceed. Like I have one for CMJ Entertainment, I have one for the guild that I'm in, I have one for where I create art and stuff, and all kinds of shit. And you can tell it use these instructions for this particular stuff. Like one of the instructions I have for CMJ Entertainment is whenever I need a thumbnail background made, I tell it I always need it in 16:9 format, the widescreen format. I don't want no fucking
4x3
portrait shape
portrait,
thumbnail for my fucking YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah.
When I want that, it's for the fucking shorts. So I don't know if you were in depth enough to be like, I need you to be a fucked up degenerate that needs to be locked up in goddamn Epstein's prison or whatever, but
Damn.
What? Epstein's prison, huh?
that's
where you went with that?
that's also a workable title somewhere in there. Epstein's prison.
I don't think you should put that in there, buddy.
No, I don't.
I
I
don't-
agree.
yeah.
No.
I think that's
gonna be a tough one.
that's an easy kick to the bottom of the the bottom of the algorithm.
Ugh, Jesus.
Oh shit.
Especially that it's getting worse and worse.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
No kidding. I think that was all I had to speak on the 2 previous episodes. Let's have Yuki go ahead and introduce himself, our educated speaker today.
So yeah.
While you on my shit.
Yeah, my name is Yuki, or the people call me Yuki at least. Name is actually Ian. So I
Just like every Puerto Rican
Recently-
man.
yeah, apparently. Other friends called me Habibi, so I don't know. It could be Puerto Rican or something else. Who knows?
That's what your
Lebanese. What the fuck?
that's what your label is gonna say underneath
Just
your
Arab.
camera is
Just
Habibi.
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 Oh my god, great.
Keep
Lebanese
talking, I'll
friends
have it
saying
for
that
you in
all
a
the
few
time.
minutes.
That'd be hilarious.
Habibi.
But yeah, I just finished my master's degree in mental health counseling, basically. And I'm
Keyword
trying to
men.
get
Full health.
Yeah.
It is Men's Mental Health Month. But yeah, I just finished it, and now I'm trying to get my license. So it's a whole process. It's not like you can graduate and start practicing like just as quickly. It's
Yep.
the whole process. You need to complete at least 2,000 hours. Everything is a process now. Everything's more complicated, no matter what your parents say. Back
Especially
in
if
my
they want
day,
any of those
like nah.
jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a little about me. Hobby, like if I talk about hobbies, like obviously self-evident. Gaming.
Number 2 hobby is gaming. Number 1 hobby is gooning. Is the
basically,
briefing we were given.
Yep.
Yep. Apparently, from what
That's,
Joe said,
that's a fact. Yeah, gooning.
apparently,
Yeah, gooning.
yeah. So, like the other one is like I'm trying to become an author, for fiction. So that's been a
Okay.
tough process in itself. But that's
Definitely.
about it. It's a little bit about me.
That's a whole different change between mental health and creative field and everything too.
Yeah, I
Oh.
mean the 2 we had last time, one of them studied without getting actually into the field. The other one is just like a licensed counselor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm trying to be.
beyond that, not really much of like trying to be an author or anything. So already you're bringing a brand new flavor. Plus being a degenerate like Jake, that also helps
Flavor.
add to it.
Apparently,
Yeah, flavor.
according to Jake himself.
Flavor.
So we can't. Can't really
Don't
I
make
wonder-
it weird, Jake. Don't make it
I
weird.
wonder what kind of flavor that is.
Shut the fuck up, Jake. Don't make it weird.
Too late.
Trying to figure out. There it is.
Mofongo.
I
What
knew
the-
it. You were gonna say.
They do.
Yo, no, those plantains, I can't live without them, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Not like that. Hey yo,
That's all I eat
No, like
mofongo, bro.
you with your cucumbers, bro. Like it's
A cucumber, bro. Take it back. You know, I don't fucking eat cucumbers, bro.
Here we go.
Take it back.
Cucumbers in your ass.
pickles.
No, dude. Only pickles. What do you mean? Why? Why? What was the point in the fucking?
It's stun lock.
No, like no. Like, dude, fucking. What's with the cucumbers or
No, I said
pickles?
pickles.
That's why I'm saying, like, what do you? They're pickles. They're called pickles. Two different
Well,
things.
isn't it
cinema.
pickled cucumbers?
Yeah, I
Two
mean,
different
pickles
things.
are just cucumbers that have soaked in vinegar. Like, what do you want
Mhm.
about?
Mm-hmm.
They're two different things.
Nope.
Yeah, one is wet and one isn't.
Yep.
Because they have different
cucumbers are still
properties?
Exactly.
Yes, considering that they're called two different fucking things,
Oh, here
they
we
are
go.
two different fucking things. Yes.
This is the
Thank
whole
you.
water is wet argument.
No, it's not. It's a completely different argument.
Is water wet?
Sometimes
wet?
things have different names because they're different fucking things.
Yeah, water being wet's gonna do.
So is a book and a novel two different things, Jake?
A novel's a type of book, bitch. Don't fucking play semantics with me. What the
Real.
fuck? Like,
Yeah.
your fucking semantics game will
See,
not win this battle.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
got two different ones here. Here's a book. Here's a novel.
Yeah, both are for nerds.
Yeah, basically.
See, you can have similarities in two things, but they don't inherently make them the same thing.
But the
Mhm.
pickle is the process.
I've
Yeah,
got
to
your
pickle
Named
something is a
pickle.
process to make it a pickle.
I've got your name tag.
But
in
we
front of
all
one.
agree.
Pickle.
I am correct.
Yeah, with a little.
It's pretty hard. I
Yep.
like that.
Mhm.
Baby.
The BB.
We can leave it as that,
baby.
or I could give you a genuine one.
I
Hey,
could believe
with
if
the
I saw
Yuki,
you.
if it's Yuki you, it's fine. Technically, that's even better for me. So I do like it.
I'll see about getting that done. All right. How's that? So, how's everyone been here lately? It's been
1 week since you
the
look.
last. Shut the fuck up, Jay. It's been what, 2 weeks since the last podcast? I
No,
think
not this again. We're doing this bit again.
it was
literally- he's
entertaining
doing it on
watching y'all
purpose.
try to figure
He's
it out
doing on
because
purpose. Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
no, I mean with the way y'all were talking about, I couldn't quite figure it out myself until I went back and looked. So y'all did we did the mental health special. Then y'all did one without me because I was recovering from my root canal, and then we had to take a break because Yuki wasn't available and we didn't have enough people for a normal podcast, so we recorded gameplay. And then y'all did another one without me, and then here we are. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks. What's everybody been up to? One of the critiques y'all had for me in the last episodes, we don't have enough genuine combination or conversations, and I try to force gimmicky content on y'all. So what's everybody been up to?
He's mad, Mike.
Yeah, he really
No,
is.
no,
Like,
it's
he's
a valid
mad.
critique.
That's what I'm
It's a
hearing.
valid critique. I just didn't like that y'all harped on it for like 15 minutes.
You asked the question.
Matter of fact,
Also, it
Hey,
also helped
he's
that
asking.
you provided a couple of questions that were all the same question, just in different ways.
Yeah.
matter of fact, those two questions that had your name on them were exclusive to your outline. That's why your name was on them. You were supposed to ask
Oh,
Mike and AJ those questions too. Not just be like, well, these are my questions, only I get to answer them.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, you seem to
be
have
more
these
fucking
ones for me,
specific.
so I guess I'm gonna go through this. Just
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Just-
maybe.
you
I
two
don't know.
just
Be more
sit there.
fucking specific in your outline next time. I don't know.
Sit there and
dick in
fucking
hand.
look
Just
pretty.
fucking-
How
I mean-
specific? That's the question.
In my
They weren't
briefing
great.
that I gave you, I said as much. You just don't like to read
Mhm.
messages
Dude,
that exceed
okay.
5 words.
Okay, all right, everybody. All right, everybody on the podcast. Let
ADHD?
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Whenever a woman sends you a bunch of text messages in rapid fire, and each of them are about 15 to 30 lines deep, do you sit there and read the whole thing?
It
The answer is
depends on
no.
which woman it is.
The answer is yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you.
Depends on the person.
Thank you. And thank you for that, Christian. Now imagine that woman is Christian instead of a woman. Are you going to fucking read all those goddamn messages? No.
I would
I'm
if
not.
you sent it to me, bitch.
Yeah, because it'd be out of character for me, and you'd be like, "There must be something wrong here."
Yeah.
No, it's not even.
I can't even fault you for that. You're right. You're right.
It's
Let me
probably not
go.
even the content of the message. It's how it looks. Next time,
That's also fair.
do a PowerPoint presentation with like animations and stuff, and then every once in a while you just take out the keys and be like, jingle jingle, Jake, jingle, jingle,
That's-
jingle, Jake.
That's what I gotta do to get Jake to pay attention. Just it's a fucking low budget Saturday morning cartoons.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, jingle jingle.
Jinky jinky.
Okay.
Eggs and
okay,
bacon.
okay. Well, so here's, funny enough, dude. Yuki tried to say the other day that, or no, it wasn't Yuki. It was other Ian. Was like, "Oh, you need a dopamine detox." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, the kind of games you play, man," because he was trying to get me to play that fucking game where he's like on a moon by himself, trying to like.
Oh, Space Engineers.
Yeah, I was like, brother, this is just not a game I'm interested in. He's like, yeah, dude, it's because you need a dopamine detox. Like, you only play games with high dopamine. I'm like, brother, why do people play games, man? I was like, I don't play them to fucking harm myself and just for hours grind on one fucking thing. That
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
mean shit for me. I was like,
Yeah.
now, however, I will bring this up. I was like, what about the fact that I play games like Power Wash Simulator? That's not very like immediate
It's like when you need to
gratification.
shut your brain off.
He was like, I was like, but that's not instant gratification. He's like, how is it not from the minute all the noises? I'm like, brother, I do not play that game with sound on. I put
That's a
on
crazy
a
reason.
fucking YouTube video over here and I listen/watch that while I'm playing Power Wash Simulator. And he goes, that's even worse.
No,
Yeah,
you're doing the
you dug
same thing
yourself a
that
hole.
people do with the job, with that same job.
Yeah.
They put their headphones on and be like, power wash.
Yep.
There you go, dude. I'm
They need
literally
a
I'm power
dopamine
washing.
detox to do that job, then, I guess.
Dude, that fucking job is boring as fuck, but it's also super gratifying when you finish.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like, yeah. Like, dude, I genuinely, when I started, I've been playing this game for years, bro. And it's recently fucked up on me where I can't play the DLC that I bought because it'll just keep taking me to the Microsoft store and it's like, download it. And the Microsoft store is like, it's downloaded. And I'm like, why aren't you fucking letting me play my Wallace and Gromit DLC?
That's what it is, Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. They've had a Warhammer 40K. They've had a Warhammer 40K DLC.
Yeah, it's
SpongeBob.
very weird. Club.
The SpongeBob was the first one.
Those are
That one was
sick.
fun. Alice in Wonderland, and a couple of
I had
other
a
ones.
lot
Like,
of things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've beat all of them except for the Wallace and Gromit one because it locked me out. So that fucking sucks. But dude, I think I was playing the SpongeBob one, and I was like, dude, I might just go buy me a pressure washer and just go fucking take up odd jobs doing it, man. Like, because it was just so fucking satisfying. It brought me back to a younger time when I was a
pays well,
kid.
though.
Younger time.
Yeah, it brought me back to when I was a kid and power washing the fucking the driveways and shit. And it was like, Man, I miss this, having something in my hand that could cut you in half. You know what I mean?
They could cut your foot off. Yeah, I did that too when
True.
I was a kid.
Very
And
sad.
yeah, I would start like drawing on the dirt or whatever, just drawing with the power washer. So my dad would come along and be like, "Hey, hey, keep washing."
Yeah, dude, I remember my dad came in. I took over because my dad came in at one point and he had split his fucking toe open. And I was like,
oh my
whoa!
God.
I was like, whoa, jeez. He's like, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. This hurts. And I'm like, oh God, gee, Willikers. I don't know if I should even touch that thing. And he's like,
Little
just take it,
7-year-old
you little
Jake.
fucking pussy. Just take it. And I'm like, oh.
I love
And
how
then I
your
started
dad sounds like a
blasting the
typical
water
Disney
and
villain.
drawing and shit in it.
He
And I
sounds
was like,
like
this is fun.
he sounds like Rick, and you sound like Morty, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Jake
Where do you
was
think they
Rick
got the
and
idea?
Morty before Rick
Yeah.
and Morty was Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So I pulled up the three
I was
outlines.
2 grown men.
I pulled up the 3 outlines. And I'm not going to take the time to have y'all answer these, but I am going to read them out. So the 2 questions that Mike and AJ were supposed to answer was, is there such a thing as too much chaos in a podcast? If you had to invent your own podcast format, what would it look like?
Hey, wait, why wasn't I supposed to be one of the people? I think we both answered that though, didn't we?
I don't remember.
I don't remember them answering. I think they actually went along with it being, oh, well, Jake's just going to answer these.
Well, no, because at one point, dude, we were just kind of like, oh, well, AJ just joined, and it's been an hour and some change already.
Yeah,
Let's
that
just-
is fair. That is fair because you did answer them before AJ got in.
Yeah, true.
The 2 questions that were in AJ's outline is, do you think a podcast needs more emotional depth to be worthwhile? And what's the line between chill and boring when it comes to podcast pacing? The 2 questions in Mike's outline was, what's the best way to kill the silence if the conversation dies down? And what's the best balance between a marketable podcast and having the ability to create what you want?
Gooning, probably gooning.
Just stand up, pants down.
Doing.
See, you get it.
Gooncast.
You get it.
The silence one is very interesting. That's in
Well, I mean,
mental health. They always teach you, why do you fear silence?
Yeah.
I just fear silence because my biggest fear is fear of the unknown. Like knowing that shit's gonna pop off, but not knowing how or when it's gonna pop off.
I don't fear silence. It's just really loud because I have really bad tinnitus. So silence is really fucking hard to exist in.
I'm gonna
Because all
have
you
to
hear is-
zoom in on your
all I
smug
hear
ass
is-
face.
All the
It's
time.
Silent.
And I'm just like,
Yeah, I get that. I also have tinnitus. It sometimes it doesn't allow me to go to sleep. But the silence usually when people are talking about like the awkwardness of silence is when you're having a conversation with others, and suddenly everything turns silent.
Yeah.
And in our heads, and this is what my professor taught me, and I always kept this in our heads. We think, oh my god, this is awkward or this is weird. Like you've been silent for like the past 5 seconds or 5 minutes, and we exaggerate what the
Mhm.
silence is,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't allow others. Well, like we don't allow ourselves what we allow to others. We're okay if someone takes 5 seconds to respond to our question or to get over their silence or start a new conversation, right?
Right.
But for us,
Yep.
we don't do it. I don't know why. And depends on the situation, depends on the person, but we all have different reasons for doing it.
I mean, with the podcast being the way it is, I think that trying to fill silence was always like the biggest hurdle to try and jump over. Like before we started using webcams, it was easier because it was just audio. Every time there was a long pause, like if I asked AJ and Mike, because Jake was actually a lot better at this just from the get-go. If I asked AJ and Mike a question, sometimes there'd be 10, 15 seconds of silence because, and from my perspective in their eyes, they're like, well, I don't know how to answer this. Now, after doing this shit for 2 years, we've gotten a lot better at it, but there are still those instances where somebody says something maybe they think is funny and everybody else is like, that's not really all that funny. And then there's just silence. And it's harder to trim that silence out because if you start making a whole bunch of jump cuts, it becomes very obvious. Like if I'm talking and then there's silence and I'm like this, and then suddenly I'm like this, and there's like no movement transition, it becomes very obvious that something was removed. And like obviously with certain personalities being the way they are, there's going to be things that I have to remove, but I try to make the podcast as transparent as possible. I don't like the idea of us being these content creators. It's like we're gonna put on a persona that fits what we think you want us to be.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even make money from this shit anyway, so why would I want to try to put on a facade of we are these perfect darling
Facade.
little angels. We travel to mountaintops and spend our free hours working to help the needy and the poor at the monastery.
That
No,
only works on Instagram.
for real.
True.
Yeah. Like when it comes to podcasts and videos, like genuineness is actually a little more appreciated from the audience, or
Yeah.
that's what I've seen at least. Like, come
I
on,
agree.
let's talk about like what's his face? Oh my God, he's a YouTuber from Florida. Funny as hell, but he's a complete gooner, and they always mess with him because he's bald. I forgot his name now. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot his name. But once I get it, I'll say it.
Well, I
But
mean,
there's so many people with personalities that are like completely genuine.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll never think that we're the best podcast ever. I mean, one of the things that kind of hurts us as content creators is the fact that everyone has a podcast now.
Oh yeah.
My fucking cat has a podcast. Not really,
What?
but you get the
I'd
idea.
watch that.
Also, by
But-
the way, Asmongold.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. He's
Yeah.
come on. He's very genuine to himself, and he's very honest about who he is. So
Oh yeah, I mean he doesn't give a
gets
shit
constantly
if you like
canceled.
him or not.
Yeah.
I think it's
But-
funny when people try to cancel Asmongold like he gives a fuck too. He's like, okay, and
The whole baby no money stuff too.
But yeah, it's like we don't make money, and when you start trying to put on a mask of who you think the people watching you want you to be, it becomes a job at that point. Like,
Yeah.
sure, there are days where I don't feel like editing, but this is one of the most fun things that I do with any of my time. So I like to keep it fun.
That's fair. Yeah.
Has anyone watched any TV or anything? Going back to the whole, I'm gonna make this work to appease Jake.
I don't get it. Could you
Well, I
explain?
mean, the two podcasts that I sat out, you spent a great deal of time talking about movies and television. Like you had been watching a lot of movies.
Have I?
Have you?
Oh, that was right after surgery, though, wasn't it?
Surgery.
Surgery.
Artery.
Are you turning into
surgery.
Are you turning
was
into the
recovering.
haircut doctor guy from Flapjack? That's
The doctor.
Oh my God.
a fucking callback.
Legendary.
Dude, they don't call me, legendary because I'm not legendary. You know what I mean?
I remember what I was gonna ask earlier. As much gooning as y'all been talking about, Mike, what the fuck has your
Ooh.
status been lately? What does it say? You telling me a crab ran this goon?
Yeah,
What
I
the
saw the
hell
video
is
and I was like,
that?
I put that as the
I meant-
as the
I meant to ask you about that, dude. I really did because I was like, I love that.
yeah. I was watching a video and somebody brought that up as a line. I'm like, you know what? That's my Discord status. Fuck yeah.
That's fucking,
I'm surprised I haven't
That's-
heard that one yet. Like that just
especially for me, dude, because you think that would be on that shit, but
I mean,
Like,
that one just cuts
yeah.
a little bit extra deep for me because that story I told where I sent AJ to go buy us lunch, I was like, you go get it, I'll pay for it. One of the things that he bought that he left in my fridge was this big ass thing of crab rangoon. So whenever people talk about crab rangoon, I think of AJ wasting my money.
yeah, that's fair.
That's hilarious,
It's
actually.
the crab that ran your goon. That's for sure.
Crab Rangoon is just fucking.
For real.
I don't.
Dude.
You remember on the internet
mean-
when people would be like, "Oh yeah, dude, fucking Crab Rangoon and a hot goth chick to fucking crush my." I'm like, I don't like Crab Rangoon, dude. I think it tastes like shit.
What the
Like,
fuck
you
even is
ruined
crab
crab.
ragoon? Hang on.
It's like fucking crab and cream cheese, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Basically, sushi without the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
just crab and cream
okay.
cheese.
Now these pictures that I'm seeing, I'm putting them in booth 1. Don't know if they'll get put in the video, but this doesn't look that bad. But that just looks like fried dumplings to me.
Technically, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's technically what it is.
So I guess the takeaway is it looks better than it tastes. I mean, I don't know.
It's a taste issue.
Cream cheese is a weird thing. Like, that's another advertisement I keep getting is fucking Philadelphia cream cheese. All of these brands that we're mentioning, we are not sponsored by. The Internet Bum Show, CMJ Entertainment has no sponsors.
How
But-
could we get fucking sponsored?
All this goon talk.
Yeah.
We'll get sponsored by Trojan.
True.
I don't
I'm
think
in.
Gooners use.
If we
Yeah,
were gonna
true.
get sponsored by
True.
Trojan,
I'm not gonna finish that. I'm not gonna.
You're
finish
right.
that.
You're right.
Please.
if we were gonna get sponsored by Trojan, it would have been the episode where the three of y'all, you two and Angel talked about fucking all the condoms and shit that y'all do and don't use.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh,
Is that a
really?
thing?
That was one of the
Wait,
Ask
wait.
Reddits.
Review.
Mm.
Do a review, Trojan.
I just remember what
Review
You
for
want me-
Trojan.
I don't know, dude. I don't use condoms.
I think you said you use like lambskin or something like that. Jake. That's what
When I
remember.
would
Yeah.
use them, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Mike doesn't use any because Megan's got like the in-arm implant or whatever.
She's got an
Yeah.
IED. Dude, I remember part of that conversation, an issue we ran into, or the whole reason that fucking conversation came up is because Angel wanted to bring up the time where he finally got some for the first time in his life. LOL, JK. I'm not gonna slander this man like that. But he fucking had this girl come over, and this motherfucker, I just hear like banging around and shit. I'm like, damn, somebody broke into our apartment. And so I like lean out the door, and I'm like, oh no, that's Angel. And then I'm like, oh, he got a bad little Hispanic bitch on him too. And I'm like, oh wait, they're getting naked. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Went back in my room. But like, dude, I walked out there in the aftermath of it all, and dude, there was shit thrown everywhere. Like the whole goddamn living room looked fucked up.
Goddamn.
I was like, damn.
Was
That's
this
wild.
the
And
one
then all
that
of a
he
sudden I
ended
got a
up
knock on my
dating?
door. Yeah, he's engaged to her now.
Oh, nice.
But I just heard like a bang on my door, and I'm like, yo. And he's like, hey man, oh, do you got any condoms? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, how many do you need? Yes. And so he just grabbed the box. Grab the
when
box
you're
and
supposed to
lean
get
back
a
in
number,
there.
they just say yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just
Yes.
grabbed the box and then leaned back in there, and I was like, okay, well. I was like, this is karma, because I've been doing this shit for months now. Just bringing in random bitches, and then he'd have to fucking hear it.
But
His
I mean,
turn.
his story ended differently. He got engaged to her.
Yeah, gee, thanks for the reminder, piece of shit. I don't need your fucking.
I mean, what does it
thanks.
matter? He's never coming back to the show. He's too busy for that.
Yeah, dude, she's got his balls in a vice, man. Could have been me. Could have been me.
I wanted my balls in that vice.
Yeah, not
Just-
that one specifically, but yeah.
I can only imagine what it would be like trying to find a replacement for the three of y'all. I fucking have to change the whole brand name. Find some dude named Sebastian to replace AJ. CSMJ Entertainment does not roll off the fucking tongue. Okay, CAMJ works because each of y'all call it CAMG or whatever the fuck. So
MJ.
I roll with it. Now I've heard someone call it CAMG before.
MG, like
I
fucking
don't
camera.
remember who, but I was just like, I don't even care anymore.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's just go ahead and move on to the main program. So,
Before we do it
this-
quickly, I need to go quickly grab my food. That's finally done.
Okay.
All right,
Quick.
let's take a break.
Jake, you always have like interesting stories.
Jake
Ever
is a
since you
good
told me the
storyteller.
story. Yeah, he is. Especially like those stories about Cuba. That was funny.
Like
Which
Jake,
one?
Jake shits
That's
on
a
our
few.
segments, but the fact that he and AJ are good storytellers are why we have segments like Adventures of Omegle Man and AJ Goes Deep.
I think we need to find an actual animator to make Omegle Man thing a thing.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean
yeah.
either that or I have to come up with like frames, like animatics or whatever.
You can go to Fiverr.
We could go to Fiverr. Yeah, we could get some Pakistani man to do it. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm
Why
just
specifically? Why specifically Pakistani?
I pulled
Because
up
that's
the other
the
short.
majority of the people that I've had on Fiverr are from Pakistan. I think all, if not all but one, were Pakistani. Because I even asked them after. I was curious. And the one guy that I consistently use is Pakistani. And he had another Pakistani guy who he's friends with try to catfish people into thinking that was him. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Are we still recording?
Yeah, I mean we're still going. We're 40 minutes in.
Okay, sick.
I don't
Yeah,
know
so
how
this is
much
a
of
good-
this is gonna stay, but
Well, so this, I mean, most of the shit I've been saying is fun little stuff, but you know, so long story short, long story short, dude, there was a time where I was buying artwork on Fiverr, or like having people like customize. What's it called, man? You get a commission, right? I had
Yeah.
people commission work for like album artwork and shit like that, and I would give them an entire prompt, like, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for," and I found a guy who I started using consistently. Like I used him twice. He was fucking great. He got all my ideas perfect, and you know, it's on two of my two of my songs for "Captivated" and "The End Will Justify the Means." Same guy. Really good artwork. You can put those examples up if you want to, Christian. Editor note, but really good work. And I was like, dude, this is fucking dope. I love this shit. I'm gonna keep using this guy. Well, a couple of weeks go by, or months go by, I think at this point, and I haven't really been putting projects out for real. I'm kind of thinking about I need to do more, and all of a sudden I get a Instagram follow from the guy who has been doing my artwork, and I'm like, oh shit, what's up, Habibi? Like, what's going on, man? Like, hey, dude. And he's like, hey, you've brought my artwork before. I'm like, yeah, dude, I remember you. What's up? I was like, I thought you didn't have social. He's like, no, I have social. I just don't use it too often. But hey, man, if you want to have some artwork done, we can just deal through here since you've been like a return customer for me. And I'm like, yeah, dude, sounds good. Well, this is the idea I have. And something in the back of my head was like, hey, man, this sounds a little weird. Why would he just now make like an Instagram? You know, why wouldn't he have given me his Instagram over Fiverr a while ago or when we were communicating?
maybe he had to suss you out first.
Well, so that's what I thought, right? And I go to look at it, and I'm like, you know what? I've got a better idea. So I go on Fiverr, and he even says on Fiverr, or he says on Instagram, he's like, yeah, don't mention, you know, you're dealing with me through.
Yeah,
This is the red flag.
Yeah.
This is the red flag. He says, hey, make sure that on Instagram you don't mention, or not on Instagram, on Fiverr you don't mention that we've been talking on Instagram, because that's like, it can get my account taken down, blah, blah, blah. Instagram doesn't like doing or Fiverr doesn't like you doing third-party exchanges. And I'm like, I guess that kind of makes sense. And then I was
they're not
like,
that strict about it. Like,
yeah, that's why I was
It's
kind of
very-
like,
sounds very
that
under
makes
the
perfect
table.
sense. Yeah, I was like, well, it makes sense. And I mean, granted, again, if it's a tax thing, I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. I'll definitely pay you some other way. So, you know, taxes aren't getting fucked. You're not getting fucked taxes. But I go on Fiverr and I message the account. I'm like, hey, brother, I'm just curious. Like, you know, I'm kind of sussed out about this whole thing. Like, is this you? And he goes, I do not have social media, friend. I really appreciate you. Could you do me a favor and report this guy? He's like, I don't know. There's somebody out there who keeps trying to like pretend they're me. No idea who they are. And I'm like, cool. That makes sense. Now I confront the guy about it because I'm like, hey, man, I know you're not him. I've spoken with him. You know, like, why are you doing this? And he's like, well, truthfully, I still have the messages too. Cause I was like, what the fuck? He was like, truthfully, you know, like, I know him and he gets a lot of business. and I'm jealous that I don't get the business that he does when my art is very similar or whatever. And I'm like, well, why don't you just do the same thing he's doing? Get on Fiverr and you know, this is this. And he's like, well, I do, but you know, people don't, you know, hit me up. And I'm kind of like, I'm surprised this guy's even having a conversation with me, and that he didn't just like up and, you know,
Even
fucking
say, like, I told you not to message me on Fiverr or something like that.
yeah, or something like that, like an actual scammer would. And so here I am, I'm just like, you know what, dude, this guy seems like he's just down on his luck, so I'll give him a shot, right? And I was like, well, look, man, like, you know, you're using his artwork. Like, it's kind of fucked, don't you think? He's like, no, I'm not using his. He's like, all the stuff on this Instagram is mine. And I was like, dude, your artwork is fucking fine, dude. Like, had you come to me as just like you, instead of trying to fake that you were, you know, whatever his name is, I would have just bought from you, man. Like, and he's like, really, like, would you be willing to look at my stuff now? I'm like, yeah, I am. He sent me a bunch of artwork. And he said, please don't report me. You know, like, I'd really appreciate it. I'll change all my stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, for sure. I reported him anyways. But I was like, but I was like, you know, actually going to give him a chance. And I looked through his artwork and I was like, this is good. You know, I'll think about it. I'll hit you up. I never hit him up just because I got like, I mean, it wasn't because I genuinely, I just got sucked into other shit, dude. I got
You
sucked
got
up into doing other
bamboozled,
shit.
kid.
Well, I got sucked into doing other shit too, man. And that's kind of where I was just like, well, it sucks. Like, again, I would have bought some, like, his artwork was good. It's just that I was genuinely like, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I was
Jealousy kills your
busy.
chances.
You saw what?
Damn. Jealousy kills your chances.
Dude, again, man, if he would have just and I was also kind of curious on how he knew that I was using that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe like it might have been he looked at the reviews that I left, because every time, you know, he's like, hey, if you really like this, please give me a review. And I'm like, absolutely, I'll review you, dude. Your shit's good. So maybe that guy went and read a review that I left or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was mad fucking weird. Fiverr is a weird place, but again, even that dude was Pakistani. Every fucking person I've gotten from Fiverr, except for one that I know for a fact is not Pakistani because he's in the US, and he charged me way fucking more than he deserved. I was like, no, that is the only other person that I've had on Fiverr.
So, unlike how the other special kind of went, this is going to be strictly question based. I wasn't too happy with how that audio reaction thing went, just because it ended up being kind of how I thought it would be, just more of just, this is subjective, but it was a fun test regardless. I've got some core questions here. I've got some deeper and perspective shifting ones. I've got some situational and group dynamic questions. One for, I guess, what's going to be Jake and Mike, since AJ's not here. An optional deep dive, and then a wild card at the very end with some wrap-up questions.
Wildcard, pull the only sex toy in your room out and use it on yourself as quick as possible.
Speaking of wildcard, do y'all want me to just ask the wildcard question now, make it weird?
Yes, I think this would be perfect. Let's do it.
The wildcard group discussion question, number 15, is, do you
Number
think therapy is
15.
Number 15. Do you think therapy is the right answer for everyone? Why or why not?
No, I don't. And I'm so glad this conversation came up. I think the therapists are gay.
As a whole.
Yep. I think therapists, to include ones that are screen named Yuqui, are just blatantly gay.
You don't want me to show what videos you sent me about
I don't know.
you sucking on cucumbers and shit.
You think that's the worst video of me out there on the internet? You'd be wrong. You would be wrong.
No, so now I want to know something, because
I don't think you want to see those videos, buddy. You might look at me wrong.
No. So Yuki just said that one of the last times we had Q, you were threatening to like show some stuff he had sent you because he wouldn't do something you wanted him to. What is this thing that you guys have going in your like little circle of friends where you're just sending each other weird shit?
What did I say I would send of his?
I didn't send anything, by the way. He's been sending stuff to me.
I think what it was
Don't make it
was-
sound unconsensual, goddammit.
Sounds like it is.
Nope.
Q-
He asked
Q-
for it. Look at him. He was asking for it.
I think Q was
Whoa,
talking
whoa,
about your
whoa.
body shape, Jake, and then you flipped it back on him because he is of the larger persuasion than you. And you said, stand the fuck up, Q. Stand the fuck up right now, or I will put these pictures in the Discord call or something like that. I'd have to go back and find the exact wording, but something along those lines happened. So now you've got me wondering, what is it that you do with this other network of friends that you have, Jake?
I don't. What are you asking, bro? I don't get it. Yuqui
Okay.
translate. Yuqui translate.
He's just gonna dodge the question, so we're
Yeah,
just.
it sounds like
I
that.
don't get the question.
I can answer the therapy one.
Yeah, go ahead and answer that.
Sure. It's easy. Not everyone needs therapy. It's not
concur.
something that you. Not everyone requires the specific therapy that they're looking for sometimes, right? Like some people work well with talk therapy. Some people just go to the gym and take it out on just working out.
At 3 in the morning,
People.
as
At 3 in
evidenced
the
by
morning.
Jake.
Talking about someone here.
This is why I don't like
Um,
therapists.
the issue with therapy is like finding a good friend, right? Not everyone's a good friend. Not everyone's a good fit. So that's why it feels sometimes that therapy is not for everyone. It's because you go to and it's happened to me. I went to therapy once, and even though he was nice, he was like an older man who just randomly would bring up certain subjects about mental health and all that. Then at some point, the way he like one day I told him, look, I'm just getting frustrated here in Miami because the culture here, I don't like it. It doesn't go well with my own set of values, and um, and I've been single for a while too because I don't I just met I haven't met the right kind of people. And then he says, oh, then maybe you have to move back to Puerto Rico.
That's
And I
never
was
a
like,
good answer.
thanks, thank you. That sure, right? Um, some people are not good therapists, and some people are not good at having empathy. Some people just want to charge you money, and that's the reality of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've met some people who all they just want to do is sit down, listen to the person, and just pay me $50 for this hour and leave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, it's just that. Like, yeah, therapists are human too. That's all I'm gonna say. So there's good and bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And there's good and bad
I
therapists and their quality of work too.
I would think that therapy isn't really right for everyone myself because I went through a traumatic experience as a child where uh extracurricular forces at play made it to where my family and I were mandated to attend therapy with a selected therapist. And I remember there was this one time where instead of sitting down with me and my parents as a group, he sat down with them and then sat down with me. And I couldn't remember a single thing we had talked about despite it having just happened. Like I blanked out that much. And then right after or right before I started working, I tried seeing a counselor, not an actual therapist. And I found that I was more depressed after leaving each session than I was going into it. And it wasn't because I had like some jerkwad telling me bad advice, such as in Yuki's case, go back to your home country. But more of just I don't like opening up that way. Part of my problem when I open up to people is I really have to trust you. if you're getting the kinds of messages that Jake complains about, where they're like longer than the fucking Bible, then yeah, you're someone that I trust. Otherwise,
How do I
if
get
I
off that list? No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a
if
joke.
if
Wrong timing.
if I have to open up to you and I don't trust you, it's gonna be a bad situation for the both of us. I think first and foremost, if you're gonna attend therapy, it should be your own choice. It shouldn't be something that the state, as we'll call them, tries to put on you and your
Yeah.
family. Mike, did you get a chance to answer the question?
I did not. I'm trying to remember the question exactly because the
Do
went on
you
there.
think therapy is the right answer for everyone?
That's
Why
right.
or why not?
I kind of have been just chiming in with a lot of others. Like, yeah, I agree. To me, it depends on the person, the kind of access you have around you too. Like Megan trying to find therapy and like finding the right person was like in the US found the right person, but then had to move here and jump around to find a person that felt right, felt like somebody you could actually like talk to and go through actual therapy for. And then for myself,
Mhm.
there's this one guy that I went to and he seemed good, but then it was just like he was like unresponsive, like just never fit anything for me. And it's like, yeah, and for myself, I ended up just kind of going and doing my own kind of things that made me feel better, having a better schedule, still putting some actionable things in place from stuff talked about from Megan's therapy as well, like kind of piggybacking off of it. And for me, I found that's worked better than trying to figure out that time to go to the therapy, do that because I don't have the same kind of troubles as like say Megan does. And although I think it still would benefit me if I could find the right person, it's right now great with where I'm at, and I feel great. So it's like just finding what works for you, like the gym, like anything else. Like there's still stuff that therapy will point you towards that works for you. That would be like, oh hey, if a gym works for you, they might suggest to do that, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm already going to do that. Got it. So
Right.
just anything that helps you, because physical activity is always, especially a
Yeah.
big thing to help out for any type of health. So like,
Dude, vitamin D deficiency is a killer nowadays, man.
especially here, like there's way less sun up in BC with all the
Jake,
rainy times too.
do you remember what our high school principal used to say to us every Friday before
Stuck
he
'em
retired?
dry.
No. He'd say the sun is out. Make sure you remember to smile because sunshine is good for your teeth.
He's not wrong. He was a drunk, dude. It was great. He literally during
That's
our
great.
no, dude, it was awesome, dude. During our pep rally, it was the last pep rally he was ever a part of. I think they forced him to retire after this. Came over drunk on the fucking intercom and goes, "Hey, we're gonna beat suck 'em dry," and then he fucking hung up the thing, and everyone was like, "Suck 'em dry, huh? Suck 'em dry, yeah."
What's even funnier than that is that the class that I met Jake in was our freshman gym class. This was the one where Boshaw choked me out. But our coach that was supposed to be our coach, the very first week of us having class that year, he got arrested and fired because the freshman Friday was the worst that I'll have to bleep that the school name now. I think, but was the worst that our school had ever had in its like 60 plus years of existence,
It was awesome.
and so many of the football team got in trouble because of it and taken off the team that the coach's way to deal with his own grief was to get drunk and drive his football or his pickup truck on the football field.
Yep, he was dragging
That's crazy.
tires. He was like moving tires and shit on the field. Yeah, dude, it was bad, man. You can look it up. There's articles still up.
I can't
Virgil
put his
I-
picture on the screen, but I'll try to find the article while y'all answer the next question.
I mean, you can look up. I'm telling this for the guys, man. You look up riots. Like we had full blown fucking riots at our school, freshman year and a couple of other years. It's pretty wild.
Um,
I want to.
I-
Can I say something before?
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly.
No,
No, yeah. The whole therapy is, especially when mandated, it's terrible. The fact that you you guys went, through, or at least Chris, you went through that. That's not nice. That's not. Unfortunately, the system is not set up to as well in certain areas than others. Like here in Miami, the how it is, like how
Mhm.
the state forces you to go to therapy for certain things is not easy. It's more like a roulette, right?
Yeah.
But
I
Mhm.
think the
um,
guy that and I'm sorry, I'll let you finish in a second, but I think
oh,
the guy that we were subjected to going to go see meant well. Is just at 10 years old going through what had happened to us at the time, which I'll even add was ironically my own fault. Um but what happened to us at the time, I was not equipped at 10 years old. Like I consider there to be like three, like you changed the person you are throughout your life. Honestly, I think that there are three distinct versions of me throughout my life. There's the kind of person that I was as a little kid, and then I stopped being, for lack of a better word, completely like brain dead as I became a teenager, because I met friends like Jake that helped, kind of make me wise up to how dumb I was. And then after I started working, I like did a complete 180 of the kind of person that I was. Like I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, but I consider wisdom and intellect to be two completely different things. That's not even just on like some nerd D&D shit. I genuinely mean that.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like I'm one of the dumbest people that I know, but I genuinely consider myself to be the wisest person I know.
Okay.
And it's not even because I have the most life experience. I think Jake probably has more life experience from having to jump countries and jobs over the last like 10 years than the rest of us combined.
You want to know what that wisdom makes me want to do?
Makes you want to do this. Do this.
Yeah, dude, I can go grab it right now.
No,
That's
it
the
was
crazy
such a
part
pain.
about free will.
It
No.
was the it was such a pain in the ass to censor that. Please do not do that.
The great thing about free will, buddy. I can do what I want.
I'm just gonna, if you do it, I'm just gonna censor your entire camera. Fuck that.
Dude, that's
Oh,
not cool, man. That's real cringe of you. How dare you?
but you were saying before I cut you off, Yuki.
Oh no, yeah. It's like Mike said, like finding someone, yeah, like that works with you is very complicated. And there's so many different, like I'm talking about how I studied and what I learned in while studying mental health. There's so many different kinds of therapy.
Mhm.
Like there's ones that focus on the past, there's ones that focus on the present, there's one that focus on
Getting
the
your pussy
trauma.
played with.
Um, yeah. Oh, and then you have the Freudian one. It's still like psychotherapy is still a very big, especially in more um like in South America and Latino countries, they still use psychotherapy a lot.
Mhm.
But if you find something that works for you, if you actually start researching it and saying like, nah, I don't want to talk about my past. I don't want to go back to me being a kid because it bringing back those experiences like depress, like make you more depressed, make you more anxious, or trigger you in some way, then it's always good to look for what you actually want, and it is a thing that you can do. I just want to put it out there. You don't have to go through the first person you see. You can actually do your research and like see what you actually want to find in therapy. That's why
Mhm.
I say therapy is not for everyone, but it can be. I wanted to
And it
finish
is
with that.
work to find what works for
It
you.
can be.
Yeah,
It's what works for you.
it's just
It
like everything else. It's subjective.
it is.
And yeah, it's
It
a
is very
job
subjective.
in the long run for them, so it's not like they're your friend. You're not there to like stick with them with that same person the whole time. It can change that doesn't work for you too, and at some point, and what it is.
Yeah. And I
When
can talk
you're
to you guys completely freely. Sorry for interrupting, but I
no
can
no no
talk
no,
to you
you're
guys
good.
like like this and with Jake because you guys are like friends. It's a whole different platform. But when I'm with a client, with a person, right? It's a whole different thing. It's not about me at all.
Right.
It's about them. So I'm there for them. It's the whole. Unfortunately, a lot of therapists don't really do that. They think that they know best, and
Right.
it's not you. And that's how I take it as a therapist. I'm not the expert. Like they're the expert, and they're gonna teach me how to work with them.
Right. When we did the other one, Mike, you may recall that one of the things that Lex said is that not at textbooks can't really prep you for everything, and you gotta the patient really has to want to open up and be honest about what they're going through. Otherwise, you can't get anywhere. This wasn't a part of our questionnaire, but I kind of wanted to ask since y'all made me think of it. Do y'all ever have what you would consider like a flashback where you're thinking about something and it entrances you, and then someone has to like kind of wake you up, or you have to wake yourself up and realize that you've been sitting there like kind of thinking about or reliving in your mind for like the last however many minutes? Because that shit
No,
happens to me all the time.
no, I usually just that just happens. I dissociate really hard sometimes for
Well,
fun,
I
for
mean, it's
science.
different for you because right now you're playing 7 Days to Die.
No. I'm saying in general, like I don't. A thought doesn't do that, but just literally dissociation happens. Like sometimes for funsies, it'll just like the world around you just gets consumed by nothingness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never a thought that brings me to that. It's just fucking existing.
We're an hour and 5 minutes in, and we have 15 more questions. So I'm gonna have y'all wrap up your thoughts on that one question, but we're probably gonna have to start speeding through the others.
Chilling.
The next one is, what is your personal opinion? And this is one of the questions that Mike and I asked on the other one. What is your personal opinion on the state of mental health and how it's perceived in today's climate? So really a question for the two of you, since Mike and I have answered it.
One more time, slower.
What
Not that slow, man.
is what is your personal opinion on the state of mental health and how it's perceived in today's climate?
It depends, man. I think that a lot of people are too quick to self-diagnose, and that shit gets really, really annoying. It's like people are like, "I'm autistic bipolar with schizoaffective disorder. Trust me, I know." And it's like, Jesus Christ. And they all look the same too, man. Every fucking one of them, they all look the same. Like you can look at them and be like, "Yeah, that tracks. That fucking tracks." It's kind of like the joke where they say that all poly relationship people look the same. You know what I'm talking about? The blue hair
I've seen
fucking
that.
Oh, that's
I've
what you
seen
yeah,
mean.
it's
Gotcha.
yeah, it's like the meme where they look like they're obese and they have like multicolored hair and look like their breath stinks.
I've
And
never heard the obese part, but I've just the multicolored hair.
there is a specific girl on the internet. I wish I could find her again. She's got like really dangly ear lobes because she stretched them so bad. Her teeth are like this, and she's
Yeah,
got
on the
like
weird part of the internet, that's all.
big dopey fucking ears. One of those shitty bang cuts, and then it's like multicolored and has like a bunch of shitty tattoos. And she has like a triple chin, and like the whole shtick is that her boyfriend or whatever the fuck he is, they're in a poly relationship, and people are like, "Whose decision was that?" It's like that guy looks like he bangs a lot of chicks, and she's like, "I bang them too, bro." And you're like, "Yeah, okay, dude."
She probably sounds like that too.
Hey, you'd never know because they're fucking. She never does her voice on the thing.
Yuki, your answer.
Oh wait, I wasn't done. I'm sorry, but I do think that I
God
do
damn it.
think that mental health is being more acknowledged than it usually or than it used to. It only took like a bunch of dudes to kill themselves for that to finally happen.
Yeah, no
So,
kidding. I'm glad somebody said it because I was going to if you didn't.
No, yeah, I mean that's really it, dude. It only takes a large percent of people to kill themselves before you're finally like, maybe something's going on here. And another thing too,
There
you
may
really
be something to that, princess.
yeah, and you just kind of look at it, man, and it fucking sucks because like the men's mental health awareness memes that were going along, where it was like a moment of silence for men's mental health awareness, and there was like a video going around of this
Of the
chick who's
girl.
laughing,
Yeah.
yeah, laughing and shit, and
And
people are like,
screaming and all that.
yeah, and people are like, this is how you feel, huh? And I was like, okay. Like Noel Diesel, he's like one of my favorite fitness influence type
Oh
people.
no. I
I love
love that
Noel,
dude.
Papa Noel,
Yeah.
dude. He made a
Papa Noel.
video, dude. Shit made me
Yeah.
fucking tear up, dude.
I saw that.
He,
I
he
saw it.
responded. He responded to my DMs one day when I posted something like a repost, and I was like, "Damn, dude, what the fuck?" I was like, "I wasn't expecting that." He was like, "Thank you so much, blah blah blah. Like, I'm glad that I could help you through whatever you're going through." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, thanks so much." Real cool guy.
I follow a few of those. I like men's. What I'd like to call more like men activists kind of people, right?
Yeah.
Like and it's not those manosphere bullshit red pill people, right? It's a
No,
whole
yeah,
other
it's the
thing
hey
where
man, men have emotions too thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my take on the question is that I think if you're finished, Jake, you
Yeah, I'm
finished
done
already?
now.
Okay, okay. Um, my whole take on that is it's still out there. Like it's still mental health is something that has been seen as a sort of, especially for men, you're weak for looking for help, and that's not
Yeah.
true. Like I'm glad that there are people who are still posting things. I'm glad that there's people who are aware and awake, and that most of the people are more aware of it than usual. Um, but if you focus on those people that, like that girl who was criticizing or who was like screaming about the silence in men's mental health, and she was like, "Oh, I'm glad that men are dying and stuff like that." Which, by the way, I've seen comments like that, which is insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But
it's fucking wild.
It's a minority, and a lot of it is also AI.
Yep.
Like a lot of it is like bots.
Vocal minority that can spread a ton of information quickly with AI.
And the problem with the bots is that it brings out the real people who are haters, who are
Mhm.
like the scum of the earth, uh,
Yeah.
kind of people who just sit behind a screen all day and just write whatever they think they want
Yep.
without thinking that there's no consequences. But then, their boyfriend decides to commit suicide. Their son, their uncle, their grandpa, their dad, and then now, oh no, it's terrible. That's terrible. Oh, it's bad.
Suddenly it
It's
matters
always
when they're life
yeah. It
relevant.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it always doesn't matter until it happens to you. But
Mhm.
they're
Yeah,
not.
that's facts. Dude, I mean that goes with everything too, man, cuz like there was a friend of mine one time. We were talking about she was like, "Oh yeah, I just woke up scared. A fucking a door slammed in my house because I left a window open and it caused a draft and it woke me up." And I was like, "You just leave windows open like that, dude? Like that's pretty fucking crazy." And she's like, "Well, yeah, I feel safe in my home." And like, don't you say you have stalkers and shit like that, dog? Like, and you have kids and you're leaving your windows open like that? And she goes, "Listen, like, I feel safe in my home. I don't need your paranoia fucking trying to cloud that for me." And I was like, "Whoa, hey, buddy, don't call me fucking paranoid just because I've had shit happen to me and there's many thousands of people that have also had shit that happen to them. Doesn't mean I'm fucking paranoid. You're
If
being a fucking bitch."
if that's not her frame of mind, then why the fuck did a draft slamming the door shut scare her?
Because a loud noise, dude, a loud noise is gonna scare you regardless of what the fuck you think.
Even
You know what I
so,
mean?
like, what is the mentality when that happens? You hear what is the? I don't even know if that went through because of noise canceling.
It
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, no, it didn't.
Okay,
But
well,
if it does, like,
editor's note for me: include loud slamming noise here. If you hear that, what is your mentality? If you're not scared of something happening to you, then why be scared of a fucking noise?
Yeah,
Because the whole mental process of that is you hear noise, you think something has happened or something is happening.
right.
and we have to be honest.
Action,
Oh, go ahead.
cause and effect.
Yeah, and we have to also agree, like, women are a lot of women are victims to a lot of violence and shit. it happens that we can't lie about this. They go through a lot of horrible experiences.
Yeah.
I've been witness to a lot. You know, it's it's not okay. But the same thing in terms of the whole therapy thing. Men have also been victim of a lot of issues that have
Yeah.
going on. So eh,
Hmm.
at the end of it all, I just want to wrap up and say that like I think therapy has been slowly growing in people's minds, or at least the mental health idea of looking for help, of going to the gym, of having a support system, which by the way, I forgot to say that in the previous question. Support systems are very important. And support system doesn't just mean family and friends, right? It means like doctors, like your people who you choose to surround yourself with, who you trust. Going back to what you were saying, Chris, like people who you trust is very important.
Hmm.
Generally very important. Even if you don't see a therapist, if you have a friend of yours who you trust. I have a friend who lives in West Virginia. Dude is I've known him since like I think it was 5th grade. He's already a brother. I need to know that he's okay, and he needs
Hmm.
to know that I'm okay. And we call each other every once in a while. And more recently, like he calls me and tells me, "Yo, bro, I needed to talk to you about something like very specific, blah blah blah." And then he finishes the sentence and the whole thing, and he's like, "Love you, bro. Talk to you later." I was like, "Oh damn, that's nice."
I mean, that's how I look at the rest of my CMJ brethren. I just don't tell them I love you because then I get called the redacted word, and
What redacted word?
it turns into a little bit of something.
What
I
redacted
used to
word?
care about that. I used to care about that. Now I don't give a.
What
I just tell people like, "Yo, I
what
can tell
redacted word?
Jake, yo, love you, bro."
What redacted word, huh?
He's not saying anything.
Hmm.
What redacted word, huh?
The F word, Jake. That word that you're not supposed to say on the internet. Or really
Fuck.
anytime. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll go
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
yeah,
We'll go with that.
yeah, that's the word exactly.
All right. Next question.
Interesting.
What's one thing you used to believe about mental health that you no longer agree with? What changed your perspective? Let's have Yuki go first. I feel like he's the most qualified to answer.
Hey, we're all qualified. Trust me. Just because I have a little paper that says something is not. Trust me, I know about that.
I mean, you're qualified from an economic standpoint. You paid thousands of dollars to be able to sit on this show and talk about this shit.
Yeah,
So,
we don't talk about the loans.
yeah,
uh,
that's mental health gospel right there.
oh Jesus Christ!
Uncle Sam owns my ass for life.
Don't think about the loans.
Don't think about the loans. Just study. Um, Damn, that's a tough question. I don't know why.
I'll go ahead and answer first while the rest of y'all
Yeah,
form
yeah.
your
yeah, that
opinion.
helps for thinking too.
So one thing that used to, I feel like I've gone back and forth with my mentality of mental health because I've said it before, so I'm not really afraid to say it again here. I grew up hating myself and just more or less waiting to die. Like after that traumatic event that I brought up earlier, I made it up in my mind that I probably wasn't going to kill myself, but more or less, I wasn't going to go out of my way to try and have a worthwhile, prosperous life because I felt like at some point something was going to happen to me anyways. And it's not necessarily easier for the people you leave behind to deal with your passing, but the effect that you having your life taken from you versus you taking it yourself is a night and day difference on the people that care about you. Um, if you get in a fatal car accident, heaven forbid, that's not the same as, well, I wish he had spoken up about how he felt. I really wish I knew what I did wrong so I won't spend the rest of my life in regret because my friend or my family member is no longer with us. So I kind of walk that back and forth because I did grow up with that self-loathing and self-hatred, and it still lingers to this day. But at the same time, I walk this fine line between not getting a swelled head to where I care about myself and only myself. But I also try to make sure that I put in effort and time to make sure that I am content with my life and how I live. Well, I exist to make these people happy. I exist so these people don't spend the rest of their lives sad because there was a hole in their life and in their heart. There's a fucking hair hanging from my beard. It's fucking weird. All right, y'all should have had plenty of time to figure it out now.
Yeah, I mean, no, dude. I just mental health for me, it's like one of those things I had a very like, ooh, mental health, blah blah blah, who gives a fuck mentality for a long time. And then I grew up and was like, damn, you know what? I should stop being a fucking dork about this shit. The people that are all about like, oh fucking just go work out, bro. Just get your fucking body in check, bro. Stop being like shit, bro. It's all fucking it's horse shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded. That's a dumb way to look at life. It's a dumb way to look at people as a whole. Because sure, that might work for some people. Like, oh, maybe it is you're lacking vitamin D, or maybe it is that you need to be more active. But it's not a fucking cure-all. It's not like everybody has the same fucking shit. Because sometimes it might just be something mentally fucking fucked in your head that you need to get resolved. That you
And
keep pushing
you might
down
need
and
that
making
and
excuses for it.
combined with something else too. Even if you do need that, that's not going to solve all of it. You might need
Yeah,
that
like
and
Zoloft or benzodiazepam.
or you just need to go drinking with the homies once a month or something.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a support system. Yeah.
Mike, why'd you laugh? Because you know that he doesn't go
It
drink
makes
with
me
the
think of
homies
the
every
fucking
once.
meme of like this girl. It's sad that there's no fast acting antidepressants. Like, yes, there is.
Oh.
It's fucking beer coming across like alcohol. It's like-
The thing about it is that
That's
with
not
alcoholism.
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
the thing about it with Mike is that Mike is on the complete opposite side, vertically and horizontally, of North America for me and Jay.
Yep.
So instead of once a month drinking with the homies, if we go to see Mike, it's gonna be once a year.
What
Maybe
state?
for you.
Seeing
Canada.
CAMG gotta make bank before I
you're
go
in
start
Canada?
seeing the homie
Yeah.
Mike on the regular.
Damn.
True.
Canada, BC,
Yeah,
the far west coast.
Got it.
I
The
flew
51st
over.
state. No kidding.
Oh, no,
Oh, hell yeah.
Just
Puerto
kidding.
Rico.
Here we go
Puerto
again.
Rico.
I don't want to hear anything with Jake again. That's why you have to bring that for him
then
being here.
Puerto Rico is going to be the 52nd state.
Nah. We're gonna get traded. Apparently, it's like we're being treated like a draft, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
draft pick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the 53rd. And it's gonna be the 54th.
Gross. Never joke like that ever again.
It's gonna be the 55th.
No. Oh no.
Don't worry, all of this is getting cut.
Oh.
I hope so. 'Cause you're going to
Oh
jail.
Jesus! All right. Who has not answered? Because we're wasting too much time here.
I can answer it. So something, and this is small, but I always thought that motivation was something that you have to work on to do things around life. So as a kid, I was very depressed kid. I didn't have the most um, mentally healthy family, right?
Mhm.
And so I was very depressed as a kid. So I always lacked what everyone else called motivation, right? It's like, oh, you need to be motivated to like play basketball. You need to be motivated to work on things or to do homework or to study or to um. And so I always felt like it was this thing that I was chasing that was always out of my grasp, but I was always trying to get it. It's like, and if I got that motivation, then all my other problems, my depression, the anxiety, the everything else would just get resolved, and then poof, like magic, right? That took me years of my life to get over, and I'm still working on it. But I remember a therapist online. I don't remember who it was. Like, I think it was Healthy Gamer GG or something like that. Which, by the way, I recommend. He's pretty cool. He's actually a licensed psychologist. Um, Motivation is underrated. It is overrated. Motivation is completely overrated. Like, the whole point of life is effort. You just got to do the thing that you got to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
um and no, Jake, it's not, Baja, the whole Baja thing. That's not what I meant. Uh it's
You gotta hold it like this.
the whole motivation is you actually going to do what you want to do, which is, like, for example, Jake, with the music. Like, I bet there are times where you just can't put words on paper and but you just sit down and actually keep going at it until you do it.
Now, what are you talking
The same
about?
thing
He
with
uses Chat
exercise.
GPT now.
Kill you. Don't you ever disrespect me like that ever again. That shit's not funny. That's disrespectful. That's defamation.
But
How
yeah,
fucking dare you?
definitely, it's effort. You just gotta sit down and do it. Habits are not made in 5 days. Habits are apparently, there was a whole study about it. I think it was like takes at least 3 months, like 72 days
Yeah.
to create a new habit. So you just gotta sit down and do it. I lost 50 pounds like that. Just I was falling asleep sometimes, like, just lifting weights and shit, and with the least motivation ever, and I still just went because for some reason, as soon as I got, like, my clothes on, like my gym clothes on, and I grabbed my stuff, something kind of pushed me out of the door. I was like, might as well go, because I'm already dressed up. So you just
Yeah.
got to do a little thing that turns into these little micro habits until you do the thing that you want to do. So
Mhm.
yeah,
A
that's it.
caveat I would put on that is motivation, yes, but another group that I'm a part of has been entrenched in some drama as of this weekend. This was kind of one of the reasons I'm in such a
What
carefree mood,
happened?
because I'm like my give a fuck supply is kind of running low right now. But one of the things that I've always said, and this applies to everything in life, whether it's your video games, whether it's your work, your hobbies, your relationships, everything. Morale is the most important asset in anything. It does not matter if you have all the money in the world. It does not matter if you're playing a fucking MMO and you've got the best gear you can get loot wise and you got the best skill players. If you do not have morale, you do not have a fucking thing. Yes, you need all these other things because you can't go punching brick walls down. You need a fucking sledgehammer. But if you do not have the morale to get things done, you cannot get anything done. Not all, not obviously not all roses are red, but for this analogy, we're going to say that they are. All roses are red, but not all flowers are red, or not all flowers are roses. You do need the other things to get what it is you're trying to do done, but you need morale above all else. And if you got people just shitting on you, trying to create all kinds of fucking problems that just make you want to crawl the fucking wall and just fucking strangle someone, like what I've been through this weekend, you have no morale. Mike, you still have to answer the question. We still
Yeah.
have 14 questions after this, by
God
the
damn.
way.
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
a lot of questions.
I keep trying to get y'all to like home back in.
All right. Next question.
I don't.
No, Mike still hasn't
Yeah,
answered
that's
the
it.
question.
I don't know much that I'd say I have misconceptions of. I would say part of it is that I actually kind of am the opposite of the morale side of what I've learned recently with Megan is that like, yes, you need it, but it depends on if it's self morale or external like problems with it. Because like for Megan, it's more of a self thing, and like the therapist was suggesting is like when you have those feelings like, oh, this just sucks, like embrace those and just kind of like work through it to try to get it done so that then you're building the morale off of doing this thing that's been just kind of annoying you and in the way the whole time. And that's honestly helped out for Megan a lot of last like while. So it really depends on where, and that's I'd say some sort of misconception I have of like, yeah, it feels like you need to take care of yourself first. But sometimes it's like you just need to get this done because this will help you feel better, take care of yourself too.
Right. We're gonna start speedballing these. What coping mechanisms or habits have helped you the most when you're struggling, even if they're unconventional or unexpected?
Music, meditation, and muscles. So going to the
Okay.
gym.
Games.
Triple M, alliteration.
I like it. Same thing. Mostly has been exercise. Generally exercise, and spending time with the homies.
Yeah.
Again,
There
support
you go.
system, very important. And the other thing is
Goon-
learning. Learning.
Gooning with the homies is good for mental health.
Not
Yeah,
wrong.
definitely.
wrong.
Definitely, like the homies help a lot, and just
Do
keeping
they
your
now?
Yeah.
what was it? I was gonna say something else and I forgot. Oh, like recently I've been learning about stoicism. Like my thoughts, my actions, my own things affect my environment.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's very very interesting. I don't agree that that's the case with the whole thing, but uh, overall, the way I see the world, if I choose that someone else has control over my feelings, that's when I lose. Like if someone does something to piss me off, like like genuinely try to piss me off and or bother me or take away, like you said, like the morale, I I keep going back to I have control over how I see this.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
choose to let it affect me deeply, then that's my choice. I
You're
can't
talking about.
control them.
You ever read the Four Agreements? Because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's been very interesting. Again, I don't agree with the whole. Some people go to the extreme where they're like don't let anyone bother you. Don't let some people. To be honest, some people are just generally bad people, and they'll try to like mess with you and get you to a breaking point. Um, but you definitely have control over how you see things. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Bon appetit.
Going after.
I don't speak French.
Sorry. That's it's gone on long enough that that my dinner is here. Tonight, I feel like the last like 4 or 5 episodes we've done, I've sat here and ate dinner while we recorded. Tonight, it's taco salad.
Oh damn, nice.
Oh,
I-
little.
Mike, I believe you still need to answer. If you were done, Yuki, I promise I'm done
Oh
cutting
yeah,
you
no,
off now.
I'm done. I'm done.
What was it again for this?
What coping mechanisms or habits have helped you the most
Oh,
when
I
you're
said
struggling,
quickly
even
after
if?
Jake. I was just saying gaming.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like that's
All right.
probably the biggest thing.
When you're
What?
at
Okay.
your lowest, what kinds of thoughts do you tend to spiral into, and what helps pull you out of that mindset?
I'm not going to answer that question because then Yuki's going to call somebody.
I got my cell phone right here.
I'm not answering that question for my own safety.
just revved up, ready to go.
Yep.
9/11 and everything. No, I'm kidding.
What? No, yeah. No,
We're-
hold on. I'm
Rev
sorry.
up
I'm
those
sorry to
fries.
break this up. I'm sorry to break this up completely. I went to this fucking comedy show from a friend of mine. He put it on. It's called Bad People. It's phenomenal. And they filmed it and they're gonna start putting it out as episodes. Basically, they just bring a bunch of comedians up that are like real big on like not shock factor comedy, but like they're really good about getting into the controversial topics. And so at the end, they have this thing where they draw shit out of a hat, and they gave the audience like, here's these,
Scene
here's
out of a
these.
hat.
Yeah, so pick a scene out of a hat. I literally wrote 911 on it, and I put 9 and then attack and then a 1-1. And so the dude who picked it up, he's like, 911. I guess it's about the police. And then they're like, I mean, fuck the police, my right? Is what one of them said. And they was like, they're just like literally going about the cops. And then one of them goes, wait, you sure it doesn't say 911? And he goes, I'm dumb as hell. Who put this in here? I was like, me, motherfucker, it is 911. He's like, oh, damn. And then he pointed at the white comic who says he's a Christian comic that kept making Jew jokes. And he said, I'm sure you got a whole bit about this. He's like, what else can I say that hasn't already been said? And then they're like, no, we're going to cut it. It was really fucking funny. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Damn.
Improv is my
911.
favorite form of comedy.
Dude,
Love
they're
me some
funny.
Who's Line.
They're funny guys.
If you find an improv group, bro, I suggest it. I used to love it.
I can't do it, bro. I'll get kicked out.
That's what the Internet Bump
Oh,
Show
it's
started
really
out
bad.
was improv comedy. That's one of the reasons we had so many dumbass segments. Is because I was trying to turn these three into fucking improv comics.
The spiraling question.
Yeah.
Without going into too much detail, I already said enough like previously. But like the hopelessness is definitely prevalent, especially during these times where the economy is shit, the government. I'm not gonna go too much into the whole issue that's going on, but there's a lot of things going on in the world, and a
Like
lot
what?
of people feel hopelessness.
Shut the fuck up, Jake. Let him talk.
I was just asking a question.
I think we
I
all
can
know.
I can answer super quick and super easy, bro. Inflation is one of the issues that has affected my own well-being. Like I can't even own a home, bro. Like
Yeah.
for me, I feel every once in a while I feel like I failed somehow, but it's not. I have a full-time job. I did a friggin' master's degree. Fuck the loans. But damn, like it's kind of rough getting out of that I need to have my own life and build my own, wealth and build my own family.
Yeah.
It gets you sometimes it gets you.
Makes me think of that John Oliver. Last week tonight with John Oliver, he was doing an episode on like home owning and stuff. And at the start of it, he's like, "Those of you that are like under the age of 35, you'll never be able to do this. So just go ahead and turn off the program."
Basically, that's what's happening. But honestly, to just get out of that hole, it's just it's not something that's in my control. A lot of these issues, I just recognize that, again, not in my control. Like I can't really just jump up there, become a president and choose whatever I want to do and change things, or an economist and just change whatever I want to do. No,
I mean, I don't know, man. I think we've proven twice now that, if there's a will, there's a fucking way anyone can be president.
Oh yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. I know, but a lot of people, they're average Joes like you and me. Like we can do a lot of things if we set our mind to it, but it's a lot of effort and it's a lot of things are pushing us down. We have to be honest about that. But we got to find our happiness as well. And whether
Mike?
that leads to being rich or not, great.
Yeah.
Got to be happy.
Oh, absolutely. Mike?
I think I don't really have those kind of worries about like the situation of life, more so myself with anxieties kind of thing. And typically it comes when it's like extremely difficult tasks that just kind of get overwhelmed that I just don't do, and then I don't do, and then it comes to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm over anxious about it, and that's like hit the breakdown point. And that point for me to get out of that is just like chatting to somebody about it. For used to be my like mom when I was in university and that, but now it's like chatting with Megan to get mental grasp around it, and then just like grind out whatever I need to do to get it done. This is just kind of like the biggest way I go about it.
Next question. What do you wish your younger self had known about mental health? Mine is simple. I just wish I'd known I was going to grow up to be fucking crazy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say nothing. Yeah.
Jake said we raw dog in this mental health existence.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Sounds
I
like Jake.
wish I knew. I wish I knew about like habits, like how important those are. Like healthy habits, like doing
Yeah.
exercise, all that stuff. Nobody really taught me about that.
Yeah, I'll say that. I'll agree with that one. My dad refused to let me like work out for years.
It's
Had to
because
do
he
it like
split his toe. He's like, look how dangerous
I
going
didn't split
outside
his toe.
is.
Oh, you mean like when he split? Yeah, I was like, I didn't do that shit. He did that on his own. But yeah, no, man, that would have been great. Because if I had
He
been
said,
able
young
to,
Jacob, you must never leave this house.
if I had been able to do that kind of shit at that age, I'd be a fucking monster to this day, man. But of course, I probably would have joined the Marines instead too.
Yeah.
Never a
Instead
good
of the
idea,
Navy,
but-
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I would have had more reason to be like, hell yeah, I love getting the shit kicked out of me all the time. I kind of already had that mentality because I get the shit beat out of me when I was younger, but
What does old Mike wish little Mike knew?
Yeah, what is old Mike wish younger Mike knew, huh?
Yeah.
Mike's like Skip, raw dog, just like Jake. I would like to state for the audience that once again I gave these boys like a week to look these questions over. They should have had half
hadn't
these
looked
answers
anything.
figured
There's no
out by
point.
now.
No point to look that up. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think there's really anything that I can think of that I'd like really say like, hey, you need to know. It's kind of just taken life as it is since then and still am. So, it's like not much I can change. So
Young me
yeah.
should have known to invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah, there you go. I guess that's the next best thing. Yeah, you're right.
Big facts. Big facts.
Yeah.
I should have bought a home in 3rd grade, bro.
Yeah, dude. Damn it.
What was I
Hindsight's
doing?
2020.
About in the womb.
Why is they playing Pokemon, bro?
Yeah.
I should have invented the iPhone. So these are deeper and perspective shifting questions. Do you believe most mental health struggles come from internal pressure, which are expectations, self-doubt, trauma, or external pressures such as relationships, work, and society?
Both.
It depends on the
Societal
person.
pressures.
Very, very subjective. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Societal pressures are definitely one that get everybody in some way, shape, or form. So like that's I don't know. Especially considering the state of how people view their social status now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me, in my humble opinion, that's one of the most important ones. Or one of the ones that affects people the most. Because
How
like they'll
much,
look at it and be like, I'm 27, I'm 28, I should own a home with fucking 2 kids, a white picket fence, da, 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 da. And, just to draw that all fucking into one.
the pressure.
Yep.
I only have 300 followers on Instagram instead of fucking 5,000. What am I doing?
Yeah, actually, more so that.
Yep. I can't have a natural body, so I have to get fucking Botox and fucking get cement put in my ass and these big fucking fat motherfucking lips that nobody actually has naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So my takeaway is that you guys are saying that it's balanced because the wording and what I asked was, do you believe most, not all, most mental health struggles come from internal or external?
No, I think
It's
it's all
both.
different
So
for everybody. Like, it's very different for every single person.
Yeah.
Every single way.
Yep. But I'll say that externally, that's become more and more prevalent due to the rise in social media and the whole fucking
That I would agree.
all just Yeah.
Like you get a veteran who came from a war, and a lot of the issues are very external stuff that happen that become internal. So at the end of the day, it's still both.
Mhm.
And then you add the whole, if you want to add to it, the whole cultural aspect to it. If you're a different culture, you have different expectations as to a lot of things. So
God damn it, Mike! Why haven't you married a doctor or a lawyer yet?
true.
Because he married Megan instead.
And even then,
I
we
just-
probably
I had
wouldn't be able
to-
to
I had to-
afford it. Like, goddamn.
I had to assess skin tone and pick the whitest guy to make that the least offensive as possible.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Jake would have worked too.
I would have
Yeah.
been perfectly fine.
Have you ever had a moment where you realized you were the one hurting your own mental health? How did you respond to that?
Well, I'm not going to answer this one.
My answer is simple. It made me feel even shittier.
Gooning. Next question.
I always have this. I tell my clients this a lot. Sometimes it may start as something that's not you. Like it might be something like your parents, how you were raised, some sort of traumatic situation that happened when you were younger or recently, right? But all these things make you an expert at using certain tools in this metaphor, right? Like tools. Let's say like a screwdriver, because you're always dealing with screws, and because life is giving you screws. But then you get to adulthood, and suddenly you start seeing nails, and you can't really screw a nail, right? So now the problem there is now you have to develop different tools to deal with different problems, and that ends up like an awakening process of it. A lot of the things is you too after a certain point. So now you have to deal with that, and how you deal with that, it's all dependent on you. Whether you go to therapy, whether you go to do exercise, whether you choose to have like talk to friends. Um, yeah, it's one of the things we work on in therapy.
Mike,
Yeah, it feels like usually what it is for me when it comes to anxiety being the side that I'm most dealing with. It is me causing that more than anything else, and just trying to reset, work through whatever that I just delayed on or didn't do. So, yeah.
Same, man. Same. I just stopped fucking with these bitches, bro, because these bitches is what get my anxiety going.
There
It's
you
like
go.
stop.
1 minute.
You forfeited your right to answer. You said, I'm not going to answer. We're moving on.
Yeah.
These bitches, man. These bitches. Said Mike.
This one, I'm glad it actually ended up being a part of this
I'm sending
outline.
this episode to Megan. You can't believe you said that.
Can't believe it.
What do you think makes men specifically hesitant to open up about their mental health?
Oh man,
think
it's the
I think
age
it's
old.
the whole bravado complex.
No,
Agree.
it's the age old thing, man. It's hard to fucking talk to people because 9 times out of 10, when you're talking to somebody, they're not listening to comprehend; they're listening to respond in a conversational aspect. So, for example, when I talk to people, when I actually open up, the people for some reason I have chosen to open up to will try to solve something or like prime example. I was talking to a female friend of mine that I was holding very close at the time,
Mistake.
and yeah, exactly. No, you're not wrong. Never.
Was it in the middle of y'all tearing up an
A
apartment?
huge red
Mhm.
flag. Huge red flag. Is if a woman tells you she wants you to open up more. 100% red flag, because that just means that she's. This is going to sound super misogynistic, or red pilled, quote unquote. But 9 times out of 10, when they want you to open up more, it's so that they can use it against you in a later argument. It's a subconscious ideology, but no, 100%, that's what they do. Because the last person, and I told fucking Yuki about this woman, and Yuki told me from the jump, stop talking to her, because she was a Puerto Rican, and
Not because she was.
Like that's a wild connection.
This episode just started getting good all of a sudden.
It wasn't specifically because she was.
but that
Puerto
is
Rican.
one of the reasons. So,
No.
for prime example, this woman would say shit to me like,
From one of the
"Your
best.
language is very male coded." When I would say a word like "chick," I'd be like, yeah, this chick said this, or yeah,
You
during
said
this.
that to me.
What?
That my language is male coded.
Oh, then I was
remember
probably
looking at you
referencing
like,
it.
what the fuck does that mean?
I probably did it as a reference then. Yeah, I was
The
reference
reference he
humor,
wouldn't get
buddy.
at all.
He should. I think I told him this story. I'm pretty sure I've told this story on the podcast already.
I don't remember ever hearing
Now,
this.
y'all can't do this every time saying that you told me things on the podcast.
Yeah.
I watch
See, this
these
is
things.
Christian,
I know
man.
what you have and haven't
This
said.
is Christian, bro. He just fucking listens to respond instead of listen to comprehend, man. There you go
Finish
again.
your story. Tell us about this woman.
I don't even remember where I was going with it, to be honest with you.
The last thing I heard was Yuqui told you not to talk to her, and then it turned into whether he said it or not because she was.
Oh well, yeah,
Rican.
because she was one of the people that was like, oh well, you need to open up more, blah blah blah, and I did, and then all of a sudden she's like, wow, you're a red flag. I can't, like, dude, deadass. I was telling her like about my day or about what was going on, and she immediately goes, okay, sorry, I'm gonna stop you there. I don't like the way that you talk. I don't like how your language is very male coded. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean by that? And she goes, well, you said like chick, like that word is icky. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, oh, my bad. I meant to say bitch. Is that better? Is that
The
what
word
you wanted me to say?
icky is icky.
Yeah.
Like it was just shit like that.
Icky,
and
icky.
then I've other women that I've been told, oh, here I want you to open up more. I would open up, and it'd be like, yeah, well, sounds like you should have done this instead of that. During the situation, you're like, not what the fuck I need right now, dog. Yeah, cool. Hindsight's 2020. I could have. Wow, dude, you're so fucking right.
So
Maybe I should've-
insightful.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have made the literal mistake that I'm talking about. I made. And trying to vent about, but yeah, no, okay, it's all good.
Hey, you got a friend of me, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, friend.
Yeah. That's,
That's also a good episode title. Thank you,
oh,
Yuki.
God.
All right.
No, but I genuinely mention it. If you ever want to talk about something that's
I don't want to talk
you
about
always
shit.
have time.
I
No,
don't
it
talk
doesn't have to.
shit.
And I'm not talking about as a therapist or that, but I'm talking about as a friend. Like I genuinely appreciate you, bro. Sometimes I'm like sitting lonely in Discord, and I saw you connected, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna connect, and you're so very welcoming. You're the one of the only people that are welcoming in like that I've met, and they're so welcoming.
In cyberspace?
Same thing in this chat. Same thing in this podcast too, which has been nice. In cyberspace, yeah.
Why are you fucking laughing, Mike?
just him trying to process and just walk through after you were in cyberspace.
As long as you don't keep calling me your Discord kitten, we're good.
Oh no, dude, you've been replaced. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have been
I have.
replaced. That is true.
I got.
Mike,
I know.
Oh no, did I not send you the fucking video, bro? Hold on. I'm gonna post this in the booth right. No, hold on. You're all in pub. I'm gonna post this in pub real quick because I can't believe I didn't post it in pub.
But I can answer
Mike-
the question quick.
go ahead, Yuki. But then I gotta ask Mike something.
Oh, okay. Go ahead if you want to.
Mike, do you know who Yuki reminds me of?
Who?
He reminds me of Justice.
What the fuck?
He's like
is your
a slightly
counsel?
more vulgar Justice.
What's Mike? What's your fucking Discord name again? Never mind, I got it.
Face
Shut
thing
your
that's
face.
here. The
fuck up,
On your
Mike.
screen?
Eric, look at that video I just posted.
Dumbass.
Look at that video I posted. Hey, suck me. Well, look at that video I posted in general real quick.
That's your new Discord kitten.
That's-
apparently.
My guess.
That's one of them.
Why is your Discord kitten, like all your Discord kittens, one sort of like some sort of minority?
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Tori is a woman. Does that make her a minority? No, because there's more women than men. Bitch. In the
Does
world.
that mean that all men are minorities? Are we minorities now?
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, yeah.
Well,
Technically, yes.
technically, especially after World War III starts. I mean,
I'm so excited, dude. I'm so glad that I won't be called into World War III and that I could just help repopulate the earth. I'm so excited.
I don't know how much of this I can leave in and how much I have to cut.
Why would you have to
Yeah.
cut any of it?
Oh, good
Oh,
God.
I mean, you should definitely cut the part where Mike was saying a bunch of racial slurs from earlier. But
Yeah, all the
what was that? What was that
Yuki,
thing
you
that
were-
you called the dirty Toronto accent the other day? Yeah, it's
redneck
okay. We can
accent
go
I
over
was
that
thinking
later.
about, like
No, the fucking these youths, man, these youths, bro. These such a Gerbert.
it was you guys that were saying it was like,
What is happening?
further into the Letterkenny stuff. I don't remember what I said before that.
No, this is real life. This is real life. It's okay. We can progress. Mike is taking up too much time.
Yuki, you were gonna answer the question.
Can you ask me the question again? I kind of lost my train of thought.
This has become what was the question again?
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is none of us are drunk.
God, I wish. You guys want to get drunk
What
and restart?
what do you think makes men specifically hesitant to open up about their mental health?
Half seriously, half not seriously. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah. And like the history around just like how masculinity is, like just how that message hasn't changed until fairly recently, even somewhat.
Oh yeah.
That I'd
And the
say
whole-
is the biggest reason, really. There's other things, of
And the whole
course.
masculinity thing. Yeah, the whole masculinity thing. Like, what they think it's just a male issue. It's also a woman issue. How they have these expectations of how men should act.
How to
Yeah, man.
negotiate, how to-
That doesn't
Also,
promote. That doesn't
women-
promote like a good thing. Like,
Women are some of the most toxic fucking creatures when it comes to anyone's mental health. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. Because if you look at it, the standards that are put on men are not from men. They're from women.
and what about
The
things on
standards that women
that are-
have, the standards that women have on themselves currently are from other women. Because who's shit talking women when they're out in public? Women.
It's both. It's a little
When
bit of both. It
It's a
started
lot
with
more
both,
women
'cause-
though. It's a lot more women. And then women want to bring up, well, did you know Victoria's Secret is that it's actually a
Who-
man? And it's
Wait,
like, yeah,
wait.
who gives a fuck?
Well,
Who gives a fuck?
I mean, the
fed
same thing
into
can be
it?
said about Playboy.
Yeah.
Who
do you mean?
fed into it though? Like,
do you mean who fed
who
into it?
are the people feeding the OnlyFans models? Who are the people feeding the porn
Brother,
addiction? Who are
brother,
the people
have you-
feeding like
have you-
paying
It all
these
depends on the
subscriptions?
No.
faces of everything.
Have you been on OnlyFans? Have you seen the women that have OnlyFans? If anything, all that does is help women understand even easier that no matter what they fucking have, there's gonna be a dude out there that is like, oh hell yeah, baby. But the blatant uptick in Botox, facial reconstructive surgery, plastic surgery, other fucking cosmetics and shit for women that cost millions, billions in the fucking industries that they're in. Men don't give a fuck. If I see a chick come out of the house and she's like, sorry, I didn't have time to do my makeup, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay,
But what about
who the
how it's
fuck-
in the first
Average.
place that created those trends? It was the guys that were interested in, not the.
hey man, look,
Yeah.
I'm a feminist, baby. I'm a feminist. I say
That does not
leave the makeup.
save your
I say leave the makeup at home.
I
I say
say,
all natural.
I say.
I say
Of the bill,
I say
conservative, agnostic, feminist.
I'm not conservative, and I'm definitely not agnostic. Don't listen to this man. He doesn't know shit. He just uses buzzword.
But
I love how you went full Alex Jones for that too.
Buzzword.
basically,
I was trying to get my voice to do it earlier when I was like, I'm a feminist, but I couldn't get it there yet.
I'm a
I had to warm it up.
we guys also like promote this ideology of not being able to talk sometimes. Like, sometimes I feel someone opens up to me and I don't know whether I should talk to them like directly. And I'm talking about friends, right? Because in therapy it's a whole different thing. But when it's a friend, is it okay to like, I always question it. Is it okay to talk about that thing that he shared, or is it more of a like he's just saying what he needs to say and then we don't talk about it? And that used to worry me a lot. Now I just ask. Now I don't give a I don't care. I'm like, do you want to talk about this more, or do you want to just, are you venting? Like, what's the issue? Like, what do you want from me as a friend? And that's it. Like, just be there, just be present.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of guys are not like that because, oh god, this whole masculinity thing, it's sometimes idiotic. Like, we try to force it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so masculine, I don't talk about my feelings. I just go to the gym and hit the gym. And if I talk about my feelings, then if you talk about your feelings, you're gay, or you're feminine,
Yeah.
or you're this. It's like, ah, come on.
Yeah, Jake.
I make jokes like that a lot. I love doing that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
wait,
you
what was
do.
that? There was one day, I don't remember who the fuck it was, but someone was like, "No, man, I'm just going through some shit." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay, bitch, how about you fucking talk about your problems instead of being a and keeping it to yourself, fucking loser." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "What kind
God
of
damn.
fucking loser wimp fuck doesn't talk about their issues with their boys?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"What?" I don't know.
That's what's like
I'm like, wait,
reverse
bro.
way of saying.
Yeah, they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Talk about your fucking problems, bitch. I'm gonna come to your house and beat them out of you." And they're like, I don't know what to do." And then yeah, and then we talked about his fucking issues.
Fucking sensory overload.
Yeah.
All right.
Not reasonable.
How has your approach to mental health changed as you've gotten older?
Mm. Mm. I don't know, man. More conscious about it, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly,
Simple
yeah.
answers are acceptable.
Same thing. Is the consciousness, is noticing that it's there, that it's important, and that we need to deal with it, not just actually talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of just realizing that there were more people in the world that were fucked up besides me. Like, I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about people that have mental issues versus people that don't. Everybody on this planet is fucked up in some way, because if you're not fucked up, then you're fucked up for not being fucked up. Like, the people that
Yeah.
do not have any kind of mental illness are the minority at this stage of the game. And a lot of those people, I'm sure not all of them are cunts, but I'm sure the majority of those people that are like that see the rest of us that have problems. They're like, well, gee willikers, I'm glad I'm not like that. Look at all these fucking peasants and their worries and fears that they have.
I have a lot of those
All right,
peasants.
this one is oriented more towards Jake and Mike, since they're not
Okay, see,
only part of
motherfucker, hold on. I'm gonna call you out right now, since you want to pull that. How the fuck, when you say shit like that, am I gonna not expect the thing that's titled Jake on it in a fucking outline that's targeted to me and me only? Explain me that. Riddle me that, cunt man.
Because in my briefing that I gave each of you, I said there will be factors part of each of your outlines that are specific to that outline. Like, your outline had Adventures of Omegle Man. Mike's outline had caption this. AJ's outline had AJ Goes Deep. Or no, AJ's Flights of Fancy. There were things that I tailored to each outline. And I said that had you read the fucking 16-page novel I sent you, you would know that.
I would never do that. I will never do that.
Yeah, he would.
I do not negotiate with terrorists.
Hey,
Hey. All right. So this next question is oriented more towards Mike and Jake, not just because they are part of CAMJ, but also because they stream. But since you are now a part of our network, Yuki, feel free to answer as well, because you have the last 2 hours to use as a basis. Do you think gaming, content creation, or creative projects like CAMJ help or hurt your mental health, and how? I have an answer for this, but I want you three to answer first.
I guess I can say it depends on the like community, the place you are, the like types of games. Like there's so many factors that like yeah, it absolutely can if you go overboard, have the wrong like don't like just have the wrong people there and don't moderate anything or play a game that people come in and mess with you on, like it can be bad for it, but also like if you build a good community, it can be a whole ton of people that like honestly just really lift each other up. And I've seen a lot of those communities and lots of people watch, but also then the funny big ones have some of the most like toxic communities on the other hand too.
Dude, like the Minecraft community. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god, bro!
No, wait, vanilla Minecraft.
I'm all in that hardcore. You feel me?
Mhm. Crazy.
Fucking
Remember that
dumbass.
time? You remember that time we started a Minecraft server? No, you weren't there, dude. Me, Taco, and Drew started a Minecraft server on hardcore, and Drew died within the first 5 minutes.
Fucking how?
So it
Fall
wouldn't let him back.
damage?
So it wouldn't let him back in. I don't remember, but I was like, bro, you realize we got to restart, right? He was like, what? I was like, dude, I've been in the server for 35 fucking minutes, and you come in and 5 minutes later die. Now we got to restart. I was pissed. So I stopped playing Minecraft.
Have each of you answered now?
Yes.
I can answer. Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, you were supposed to.
Yeah. So I think it depends on the kind of people, the kind of podcast or that you're joining. But to be fair, this has kind of solidified, or this experience actually has kind of solidified my desire to actually go and become a therapist, because you question it. It's a tough job, very tough job. I've talked about it, and I've had my questions about it, but then the more I'm talking about it, the more I feel like it's something I should do. Because you question it. It's a very tough job. It's a lot of stress.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Going back to what I was saying before about growing up and just kind of waiting to die, all that time I kind of just wish that the world would just forget about me, kind of, just stricken from the record, never existed. But as I've grown to kind of just decide I'm here anyways, maybe it would be worth to try and enjoy the experience while I have the opportunity. That shift literally came right before CMJ Entertainment was formed, and right before we had the first episode of the Internet Bum Show. That was kind of like one of the landmark turning points in my life. And I look at the different things that I do in my life. I'm well liked and I've made a significant impact at my job, but I'm still replaceable. They could fire me tomorrow and have my replacement hired by Tuesday. I look at like the guild and the group of friends that I've made there. And I could make some lifelong friends with that group of people, but they could also just decide that they want nothing to do with me or any of the rest of us tomorrow as well. And then next thing you know, they're gone. Just like that. But CAMJ Entertainment is kind of like, for lack of trying to sound like an egomaniacal fuckhead, CAMJ Entertainment is my legacy. I don't stream like Mike and Jake and AJ. I don't put goddamn 8-hour VODs up for people to go back and watch. I run a podcast and I edit gaming content. So as long as YouTube's around, this is what I leave as my mark on the world, is these videos. Not what I do in a dental lab or what I do in a fucking 20-something-year-old MMO. It's this. It's what we're doing right here. So
Yeah.
it's when I'm feeling down and I do regress back to that state of I just wish I wasn't here, it hurts in that regard because I've already made the mark of I did this. It can't go away now. I mean, I guess I could do what I did the first time and just delete everything, but I don't want to go back there. I've invested. If you take all the time that I've put between recording podcasts and editing and everything, I've spent literal months working on this shit. But when I'm feeling great and I look at it and I say, that's something I did. Yeah, people helped me, but I did that. That has my name on it. I did that. I'm proud of it. It helps. All right, these are situational group dynamic questions. The very first one literally hinged on whether we could get Yuki or not, which is one of the reasons we had to wait this long. But this one is specifically for Yuki. From what you studied so far, what do you think the field of psychology gets right about mental health? What do you think it still misses?
I think it misses a lot of it, and even though they've tried to make therapy or more accessible for people in general, I think it still misses the human element. We still study a lot of the. It was only recently. It was only in the '90s that we started talking about the humanitarian, the cultural aspect of people. It all started first with Freud and all that, and dude had a lot of mommy issues. Um, he found his own mother attractive. Um, I'm obviously kidding, but if you know about the Freudian, oh, what was it? The Oedipus
Freudian slip.
complex. Then you
It
know,
was
Mhm.
complicated. Yeah.
no, the Oedipus complex and the Electra complex and how it all developed afterward. It's a little too much. And a lot of them have a lot of those popular psychologists have done their studies trying to understand the human mind, but not trying to understand the person themselves. Like it's very individual.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole element that we're missing, and it's that what I like to call the soul or the personality or the person themselves. Um, there's a we've gone far with it. There's something called person-centered therapy, which is more on listening to the person, and the person is the individual is the expert, right? Not the therapist. But I still think we're missing that. Like we haven't gotten as far as we should.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We need to make it more
Did
accessible, honestly.
did either of you have anything you wanted to tack onto that answer?
No say.
No.
All right, skipping over the next one because it was tailored more towards someone like AJ or Justice.
What does that mean?
It says in my notes here, if Justice or another vulnerable guest is present.
Vulnerable.
The
huh?
only two that I really feel like fit that criteria is Justice or AJ, and neither of them are here. This one is tailored specifically for my boys in CAMJ, so Mike and Jake. Do you think our friendship as a group helps us with our mental health? What are the challenges of being close friends but still not always knowing how to help each other? I don't. So I'll openly admit I did have my AI help me come up with some of these. I honestly don't even know how to answer this now that I've read it. So if you guys want to pass, because now that I'm looking at it, I don't even know if this is an appropriate question per se.
I think I could definitely one thing about it is just that even if we know each other, it's still kind of like hard to figure out how to talk about a situation of like how you doing. Like if I know you're not feeling well, like how we've chatted through DMs before, and like just trying to figure out like how to work through the situation. Like I know them, I know what they think, but it's like I don't. It's like so much harder through text and like trying to respond that way and try to work through something in
Yeah.
that.
I can give you a good example of where I thought my friendship with one of you was like, I thought maybe it was this one thing, but it proved that it was really something else. Two different examples. Three technically, but one of them is just historical context. There was an instance back in the councilman days where I had some kind of altercation with like a bunch of y'all, and I think I left the server and everything in the hands of Christine because I felt like she was the most responsible.
Mm.
And then I came back a day later and Steven just ripped me a new asshole and everyone just kind of sat there and watched it happen. But jump forward X number of years. There was this one instance where I think it was New Year's. I just wished you like Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or something like, and you called me Christian instead of counsel like you have for years. I was like, oh well, I shouldn't make this weird, but that felt kind of nice.
Gotcha.
Like sometimes I think you refer to me by my actual name just in the off like the back of if Jake says, well, I saw
Yeah,
Christian doing
tends
this
to
the
be.
other day, and then you turn around and repeat the same name.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it doesn't bother me the whole calling me counsel versus Christian because that's what you knew me for 6 or 7 years before we started doing all of this. Before everybody else started calling me by that name. Just it's habitual.
Yeah. Okay.
And then more recently, a few episodes ago, I'm not gonna say which one, but there was an instance where I was having some issues with someone that I was talking to, and out of nowhere, Mike just jumps in, basically tells them to chill the fuck out. And I had to step in and provide context so that
Yeah.
they didn't turn on him. But I would just looked at that and I was like, well, damn, Mike, I didn't know you had that kind of dog in you. but yeah, it's just like I'm not saying you're the kind of asshole that wouldn't stick up for a friend, but it was like the first time I had seen it, and I'm like, well,
Yeah,
damn, Mike really does care about how I feel.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say our friendship does help with my mental health, especially because I am too boring of a human being to do this podcast by myself. Jake's made it clear that I'm a good interviewer, but I am not good at just being like, hey, look at me, funny face. Like I am not that kind of content
we got
creator.
Jake with a funny
I
face.
am the brains of the I am the brains of CMJ Entertainment. Mike, AJ, and Jake, and whoever we bring along is the actual content. They are the face. All right, this is the last one before the 2 wrap-up questions, which those should go by fast. This is an optional personal deep dive, so feel free to pass. When you've been in the darkest places mentally, what surprised you about what did or didn't help? I guess that's a weird way to phrase it. So, imagine you're fucking deep dark depression. What surprises you when something does or does not help you?
Two things.
What do you? I'm confused. When you're
In the
when you're
darkest place.
Yeah, when you're in a dark place.
mm,
Mine was like actually standing up, because when I'm in a dark place, I just don't want to get out of bed. It's my one thing. It's like my bed becomes like a dark hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's
Mhm.
hard
I
to
felt
get out
that.
of it. But when I do get up and do things, whether what we call like touch grass, right? Get out,
Right?
go outside, go to a park, walk, maybe get like a coffee or something in a local bakery.
Yep.
Um, and just doing the task that I wanted to do that day, like cleaning my room or doing exercise, I feel a sense of accomplishment, and that helps me move forward. I think it's a sense of accomplishment. I think that's what helps. Like doing a little something that I succeeded on, whatever it is, whether it's big or small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Jake, Mike.
eh.
Okay, so
I don't know. I
Jake
feel like I answered
passes.
that as close as I could with the anxiety part for myself.
Okay, that's fine.
So, yeah.
All right, we did the wild card question as the first question, so we're gonna skip over that. These are the 2 wrap-up questions. They don't need to be long, introspective rants or rambles or anything like that. Just quick few word answer. What's something that gives you hope even when things feel hopeless? And I'm gonna boot Jake from the call if he says gooning.
I'll keep my opinion to myself.
Was that actually going to be your answer?
No, I don't even know what the fuck I was going to answer, to be honest with you.
Pickles.
All right.
Now it's not.
I do like pickles. I do like pickles.
Chatting with friends, having a good laugh about whatever it may be, like just I don't know, playing
Yeah.
some Lethal Company with other group of friends and just started laughing like crazy over just like stupid emotes and whatever mods we have. Like just having a good time. Those kind of things.
Fair enough. All right. Here is the last wrap-up question. If someone listening to this episode is feeling completely alone right now, what would you want them to know?
Me too, buddy. Again, I don't know, dude. Yeah, that's
Yeah, we can say the whole like cringe. I know it sounds a little cringe, but like, they're not alone. They're not really alone. Like maybe they are in that moment, but somewhere somehow at some point they might meet someone that they can rely on, have that support system. I know there's a lot of people who don't even. I've actually seen some people who don't even have parents, don't even have friends.
Yeah.
They're just very lonely, but you have yourself and you have to work on that too. Like you are a person too.
Everyone's mental health matters, unless you're Jeffrey Epstein, and then your opinion matters not at all.
well, I mean, he's dead, so
His opinion didn't matter when he was alive.
Or any of the people in that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people.
And even
I mean,
what?
I guess one of their opinions matters since he ended up becoming president.
Well, there was a couple people in there that were former presidents too.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, my back.
All right. Do you boys have anything to tack on for the topic as a whole before we move on?
Nope.
Any last minute comments or anything?
Nah.
Men's
Yeah.
mental health matters.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, all men's mental health matters, but to that woman in the bar that was laughing, fuck you for one, and second, men's mental health matters.
All mental health
So-
matters.
Yeah. I feel like I know what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it!
I've done nothing wrong.
Uh-huh.
So
Sure, buddy.
this would normally be the spot where I would, jump into the light at the end of the tunnel, which unfortunately, Yuki, that is something you will probably never get to experience. I've thought a lot about how fake a lot of the videos that I go out and find to try and put a wholesome round off in the podcast are. Like that one airline skit where the dude like threw the bag of chips or whatever, and then that dude turned around socked another dude.
Yeah, that one was
Awful. Well, I mean, I was supposed to be like, yes, it's fake, but I wanted to see if y'all would just jump to that straight off the bat. That ended up being an episode I wasn't available for, so it ended up just being, well, look at Christian, he's a fucking dumbass. He thinks this is real, and I had no chance to defend myself. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I've thought about a lot of what I want to do with the light at the end of the tunnel, because I do still feel like even if it's a good lighthearted episode, you still need that wholesome round off at the end. But I don't want to do internet clips anymore, so I that is something I want to try and brainstorm and figure out. I don't know if I want to replace it with like a wholesome story time or something. I don't fucking know. But there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I had a video clip, but I'm not going to share it because honestly, the more I watched, the more I felt like it might have been fake. So we're going to move on to the outro. We're 2.5 hours in. I'm going to have Mike do it, then Jake do it, and then Yuki, I'll have you do it. Basically, the way the outro works, so I'm going to ask you for the first or most random thing on your mind. Doesn't matter if it's what you're about to go eat for dinner, what you're going to go jerk off to later when you're laying in your bed. It doesn't matter if it's your plans for retirement. Whatever is presently on your mind, those are your closing words. Mike, let's have you go first.
To be Jake to it, gooning.
I love how every time Mike upsets Jake, he literally looks to the left, and Mike is to Jake's left on my screen, so it literally looks like you're just like, you
Looking at each
motherfucker.
other.
I'm gonna choke you in a not fun way.
In a non-sexual way.
Don't make me goon.
Jake, what are your closing words?
I have none. Do it. I don't know. Don't
Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah,
let your dreams be dreams.
It's sponsored
Yeah.
TM.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, Yuki, give me your closing words.
Damn. I always think about the cucumbers for some reason.
Fair enough.
Take it back, Yuki. Take it back, Yuki. You already know what you did. They're not cucumbers. They're pickles.
Cucles.
Pickles.
Also, heck yeah.
Yep.
There you go. This has been the Internet Bum Show. You can find Mike twitch.tv/shet_yo_face. You can find Jake twitch.tv/underpassjoe. That's underpass like shit that you drive under when they build construction in your city. JOH. Yuki, do you have anything you would like to plug, sir? Maybe you'd like to plug your office since you're a licensed
Not yet.
licensed.
I'm
Okay.
working on it. Yeah.
If you'd like to obtain Yuki's services, simply travel to Florida and go stand out in the field. He will come find you.
Yeah, he will. As ominous as it sounds, he will. He'll find you. All right.
As long as it's not in Ocala.
There you go. All right. This has been the Internet Bum Show. As far as my closing words, somehow we managed to make this podcast longer than the other mental health special, and I'm here for it. This has been fun. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
All right.
CAMJ Entertainment.